Howdy folks, and welcome to Adventures in Alberon, our 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons game. I am Joe Treff, your Dungeon Master. Joining me as always, we have Matt, Miles, Allie, and Tina. Thank you so much for joining us in tonight. We have a couple of quick announcements, and then we're going to get to the recap, and then we'll get started. We're starting at a very interesting place. So first off, Dicey Encounters, thank you very much for the custom dice that we all have for our characters and for myself. We're actually going to be getting a new set from Drew, so that's also really, really cool to reflect our new characters. Man, I'm a frog in my throat.
Yeah. Should get
Mossy
another
frog?
lozenge.
I should.
There you go.
Thank you to everybody who followed and subscribed over the week that we weren't doing anything. That's super cool. I have been reading out all the latest subscribers. We actually have too many. I timed myself earlier and it took almost 30 seconds. So we're not going to do that this time. But thank you guys so much for joining in week after week. It's really allowed us to do a lot of really cool things, which we may get to tonight. Also, really big thanks to Campfire Quest. You guys are not streaming this week, so it was really cool on Twitter, pointing people in our direction. Thank you for that. And then to Frederica Volova, our artist, who's been doing some really, really cool work. Next week, we're going to have some other cool stuff for you guys from her about the campaign. You guys all just saw the image, the rough draft, so very, very excited for that.
Friggin' dope.
And finally, we have Sirenscape providing all of our sounds. That is coming from the computer over here and the speakers over here that I don't think you can see. But for all of our music, our sound effects, and all that kind of stuff, we use Sirenscape, good for Dungeon Masters, for players, or for people who want to spook their friends at camps. A lot of cool sound effects on there. But I think, unless anybody else has anything that they want to say or share, we can get back into it. So let me pull up our...
The recap.
Yeah. No more happiness.
It's not allowed.
In
That's
general.
pretty huge.
Last time that we played, Guntir, you infiltrated the monastery dressed in zinni garb that you had obtained from a young girl off in the monastery proper. Meanwhile, the two of you went to Krodik's house for Morwen reuniting with a long-lost love. And for Shay, finding an old friend. Through a combination of some kind of coaching from Shay and a very odd series of gestures from Morwen, you managed to charm him into your service. And he agreed to go with you to Kulturam.
Staying alive.
Heinrich, you searched for Guntir, passing him on 2 different occasions without seeing the sneaky dwarf. However, you did manage to go through town. You went to some of the shops that deal with outsiders a little bit more. And eventually, most of you coalesced outside of Gamble's workshop, immediately seeing through Guntir's disguise, with him clearly present in front of you. However, you talked to Gamble. You actually were given, having kind of wormed your way into his heart, you were given his first Tinkerer set, set on your own path to inventions. All of you, as a group, discussed ways of possibly leaving Squall's End and making your approach to Kulturam. The current idea that has been floated around from Aira was to descend the path of triumph, taking between 1.5 and 2 days, get down to the Bone Meadow and then make your way over to Kulturam in that way. The other idea, by Gamble, was to enter the Iron Hawk, a craft that was designed to sort of control fall. It had been tested once, and as you witnessed it in its bent and kind of twisted shape, probably not terribly successfully. However, Gamble seems convinced, and with a lot of help from Guntir, managed to refit this craft. And it now actually resembles much more of an aerodynamic, helpful shape. How well it works.
Look like?
Helpful? It looks as if it probably will get you to the bottom without killing you.
The shape of helpful.
Yeah, the shape of helpful is vaguely bird-like in this instance. But really, it's situationally dependent.
Yeah.
However, in doing all of this work, you guys got to the later hours and decided to stay one more night. Eventually, you found your way to the Frostmare, dark and sort of closed off. Making your way in, you're beckoned in by Xanifer, the tiefling who runs the place, running a fever, shirtless, in front of a fireplace. Heinrich, you gently cared for him, tenderly,
Yes.
platonically.
So fucking platonically.
And though it was a special moment, you got him to bed.
Mm-hmm.
The three of you going up and into the inn itself, making your way through the second floor, finding nothing of interest, but on the third, which had been closed off due to bed bugs, you found a very, very familiar smell. Making your way to the door itself, you could hear beyond it a strange kind of slurping sound. And Heinrich, as you were summoned, the scent was even more familiar to you. But at the moment, you are all gathered around the door. And let me switch our music over a little bit here.
Cool.
Tune it down a bit.
I got you. Just like an inch. The next line's a little bit softer.
Yeah.
So, just so everybody's aware, let me switch over to the battle map here. We have right here the first floor.
Mm-hmm.
We also have the second floor.
Mm-hmm.
However, you guys are currently on the third floor. So, let me put that out for you now. And to make this match up, I want the stairs.
So
right here.
that looks like.
And did you mean to switch over to the battle cam? Because you didn't.
Oh no.
No, I switched back.
Oh.
So,
oh, look at all that
you
detail,
guys,
Joe.
all right, you guys can place yourselves where you would like. You're currently
Gross.
outside of this door.
Looks gross.
I feel like honestly, just keeping it making the most sense. The order.
Yeah.
You know.
Looks like disease.
It's gross. She would have been holding Gunter's mouth.
Yeah.
So at the moment, you find yourselves in the third floor of the Frostmare. Dust coating almost every surface. The air a lot colder, although slowly warming as you've now restarted the fire downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
The smell here is it's the sweet smell of decay. That kind of combination of the sickly sweet decomposition along with this kind of earthy, sort of loamy smell that seems to almost drift from underneath this door. What do you guys want to do?
And we just heard something too.
Yeah, so previous to this, you had heard, as you had arrived, you actually haven't heard anything.
No.
Guntir, as he went, "Hey, Heinrich, come over here," heard this kind of stop and this sort of shifting sound, and then and at the moment, it is silent.
Is there a keyhole in this door that I can try to peep?
There is a keyhole. Yeah, make a perception check.
I'm gonna like be careful. Guidance.
You still have my hand over your mouth.
Guidance.
Alright, so that is, let's see, 24.
Okay, you see a
Cool.
couple things.
The whole eyeball just sticks through it.
Yeah, keyhole shaped. And like looks around like a periscope.
Like Yzma.
So this is, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, okay.
This is like one of the Tom and Jerry, your eye actually goes out through the keyhole. You're getting a pretty clear visual here.
Or Emperor's New Groove. Yep.
Fair enough. Your eyes take a second to adjust. It's dark. Whatever window has been in this place has been covered very, very well. Not even a little bit of the soft moonlight outside that filters through the clouds makes its way into here. But as your eyes adjust, you can see the ground covered in this strange, almost shifting gray purple that looks like a moss until you see it just quiver slightly. And as your eyes follow this quivering mass, you can see there are large lumps and mounds of what look like purple and black toadstools. And the dirt that seems to be on top of this, almost consuming the bed. And you can see there's a large cluster of it on the bed. It seems as if the soil itself is moving. But with the 24, you can see the soil is not soil. It's maggots. These purple, black things that seem to be at the same time present and not present, somewhat ethereal in nature. And then you can see shifting, almost still and silent, there are humanoid shapes within this room. And as you take them in, there are elements that are very familiar. You see with a 24.
If it's purple, black, and gray, then it is Yzma. Just saying.
Shit.
Are those what I think they are?
That one there.
Never mind.
You see, immediately grabbing your attention, these really pallid, blue, purple, almost waxy skin. And you can see this black, greasy hair that hangs down.
Ew.
And as one of the hands just kind of idle while it just drifts back, you can see these black protrusions that are coming out. These are Cortego. They're different. You can see instead of blue, they've shifted to more of a purple. And every now and then you can see more of that sort of dirt-looking maggoty stuff just dripping off of the hands and onto the floor. They seem to writhe and join this purple mass of something. You also see just beyond two of those, silent, just kind of in the same way that the Cortego are. Just roll an intelligence check.
Guidance.
Do you speak out loud for that?
I'm
Well,
still good.
Okay,
Still got
okay,
that.
I got you.
Do I still get it?
Yeah.
Okay. 7.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it
A
literally
human
doubled your roll.
in really tough-looking leathers. They seem mismatched, and you could see actually in the back there's an area where they've been burst out, and the leather itself torn and shredded away. The flesh that's exposed is sort of pallid and purple. You can see it looks as if something has eaten its way out. However, this human still stands, and you can see. You don't see breath necessarily in this dark space, but that is what you see. And at the moment, it doesn't appear as if they are reacting, but they seem very still.
I pull my eyeball back out and it's like, it ain't bed bugs. We got Crotega. And I relay the information about the guy.
Okay.
And, well, I mean all of it, just in my
Heinrich,
form.
make an intelligence check.
5.
As she describes these things to you and relays the information about the Cortego, of course, the Cortego spring to your mind. That was a very major event. Something about the humanoid individual, the wound in particular, it puts like a pressure in your mind as if that's a memory that you should have. Doesn't quite ring a bell though. But it sits there. It's an itch in your brain. But you are distracted at the moment.
Yeah, because
You feel
there's a
this
hand on my
pressure that is on your shoulder, and it's a very familiar pressure. You don't hear anything, but it's still there, lingering. And at once, it seems to sort of fade.
Yeah, good. I was
Can we
holding
all
my
just
breath.
check that we still have our Cortega necklaces in case they do their foggy shit?
I'm just like outright ignoring. And yeah, I'm still wearing mine.
I never took mine off.
Yeah, we can all still
Okay.
see through fog and whatever. I mean, are you?
I think so. I probably
You haven't changed since.
I probably don't take much off
You just add more
until
on.
I take everything off.
Yeah.
Wow, that was, yep.
That's Guntir. Yep.
Same, I suppose.
I mean, fuck.
Presumably, you're whispering right now.
Yeah.
No, you know what?
I
I'm
don't think
gonna
any of
be
us
like,
are actually talking, to be
I'm gonna
honest.
take out the Cortega necklace. We're like,
And I'd be like, and I'm gonna point over to like down and around the hallway.
Okay. And so,
Be like, guys, like, let's go plan away from the door before we do anything. Is what the whole like. Actually, you know what? I message individually. Go around the corner. Go around the corner. Go around the corner.
okay, so you
So
see
each one is-
Morwen's kind of just look up, and Shay just looks over very calmly, having
Yeah.
seen this before. Gunter, you feel Gunter kind of like suddenly jolt in your grasp as he gets a message.
Yeah.
Sure. So you guys go around the corner?
actually, yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
But taking note of exactly where that door is, because maybe. Okay, are we moved over now?
Where are you
Yeah.
guys going to move over to?
I'm like
You
like
wanna go
down,
downstairs?
No. Over this way to like
Okay.
back closet looking thing in the far
Oh.
corner.
Sure. So
Okay.
you guys, you could move yourselves over there if you want.
I'm sneaking. I'm
Y'all.
like,
Make a stealth check.
Before
Yeah.
we move, I'm gonna lean in real close with Gunter. I'm gonna let go of you, but that means you have to be silent.
The hell you rolling for over there?
Stealth.
borrow
Oh.
this. Ooh, nice. That's a
flat 17 because I get nothing for stealth.
Okay. Is anybody else moving in a stealthy way, or you guys just kind of?
I mean,
Oh, stealthily, of course.
Alright,
Like,
you
as
make
quiet,
stealth checks then.
Stealth-
as quietly as possible.
Yeah.
I even hide from them. Of course I'm doing it now.
That's a natural
Oh.
20.
That's a
Okay.
16.
I got a 10.
Okay. As a group, you move fairly quietly around the corner.
My
Your silencing of Guntir really seems to help. Guntir seems to take it pretty seriously.
my predictably jangly shirt.
Yeah, for you, it's
I mean,
just
it's just like-
tough. Ching, 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 ching. But you hold it together.
You
a
have
little
to
bit
just
as
like
best you
lift it
can.
up and
Yeah, I'm like,
It sounds like Heinrich smuggling like silverware, but you guys manage to make it around the corner.
I'm
You
packing
pause for a moment.
spoons.
You don't hear anything coming from that door. You're now around the corner. It is still dusty.
does that far door look safe enough? Nothing on it.
Make a perception check.
Okay.
I'm gonna peep through the hole again if
No.
there's another hole.
I won't make
Make
a
a perception
perception.
check
I
as
won't
well.
make a perception check.
Interestingly, actually, there is no hole because this door is not locked.
I do not peep in
As
hole.
per usual.
Okay.
Can
I
we
do
just
not
like?
hole peep.
What you see with a 10 is it is a finely crafted wooden door,
Sure, I'll take a
brass
10.
fittings.
Yeah. I'm gonna message tomorrow and be like, just check inside, see if we can hide in there and plan.
I
I'm
do
gonna
so.
lick Shay's hand.
Carefully.
What?
You lick Shay's hand.
I let go of you to move if I can.
No, you.
So are you actually
You
just
lean
going
over and lick her.
More. So you grab onto the handle and you turn it, and there's this. And you look in, and it's just
You pull shit open.
dusty a little bit, but empty. You can see an area in the very far back. Looks like maybe like chalk in a circle, but there's nothing in this room.
I take out Frank the Skull, I put him on my tail, and I make him check behind the door.
Okay. Roll a perception check for Frank the Skull.
Who has a negative 20?
This is fun. It's a 13.
Okay.
His
I-
passive is 14.
His passive is different than yours. But okay. He looks around the corner.
All right, he comes back. Guys, I think it's safe.
Okay.
As a joke, I messaged to Frank, be like, "What'd you see?"
Oh, no.
Yeah, I was
It
waiting.
doesn't work because it has to be on a target, so
Yeah,
you
I
sense that
can't
it
see
doesn't
it.
actually
Yeah, yeah.
work. But
shoot
you
the
guys,
wall.
okay,
When I
you-
take him back, he only talks to me.
sure.
You don't know that.
So you guys make your way into this empty space quietly, just
Yeah.
closing the door behind.
Okay, so Cortega.
We've handled them before.
Yeah,
They're not moving.
But that mound, that moving mound thing, reminds me of the
Yeah,
heart.
it's just like a bunch of pimples we gotta go pop.
But what if it stands up and Shay, how comfortable are you with property damage in your hometown?
We can always rebuild.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
You think we should maybe like evacuate or something? People.
I mean,
Well, we
if
should.
something's
what about the
growing
guy
here, it's not going to go
downstairs?
away.
We
It's just
don't
going
want
to
it
keep
to spread.
growing.
Oh yeah, maybe that's the thing making the innkeeper sick.
Yeah, maybe.
It's possible. I mean, it sounded really nasty. And maybe it got through the air vents or something
Good thinking,
while it was
Morwen.
off. But you
Yeah.
had it on
He's
before.
been here a long time.
Yeah.
You know, that's mold.
For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, the innkeeper is sick because of Guntir,
But no one knows it.
but none of you know that.
Yeah.
So
This is one of the only good rolls
See,
you made
nothing,
against us.
nothing
was,
gets by me. I'm a smart kitty.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
thanks,
it's,
Talon. I'll talk to your wife for you.
that's possibly what's going on. I say we burn it outright. It seems like they hated fire before. It's fungus and earthy things don't tend to like fire either.
is there a way that we can control this fire if it gets out of hand?
Asking about the property damage.
I've got something.
Well,
for ya.
okay, idea.
Well,
Sorry.
I mean, I also got this, and I like pull out the decanter of endless water, and I like. I don't know if it can do enough, but I can.
What if? Well, we can hear you out first.
I
Sorry.
was gonna say
Yes,
I do
Guntir.
that thing where I just make a bunch of fire happen. Cause
Same. We can do
Doss
that.
just said throw snowballs at them.
Yeah, you're never gonna live
can't.
that.
I
The
can't.
only problem if we set the fire and the things get away because it doesn't catch fast enough.
Well, I mean, it sounded like a lump, and the lumps we fought or seen are pretty slow in the first
Do we
place.
just burn the whole place to the ground?
Well, I wouldn't prefer to do that.
I mean, if we're trying to get rid of it.
Xanafer's like
Yeah, but
tossing
like
and turning in his sleep.
because there's like problems in the world, you don't want to blow the whole thing up. Otherwise, we would just
Oh,
stop
we're
what we're
blowing
doing.
up this inn.
So hold on, we're on the 3rd floor.
Yes.
So taking note of where that room was, I don't know if this is a stupid idea, but what if we went to the room right below it and just try to like light from up there? Get them a little
Light-
toasty at the
light
feet.
the-
Burn the roof from under them.
Yeah, their
right?
floor, our roof.
Is that
You know
better
what
than
they
just
say.
charging in?
However, if
Probably
there's something
wiser.
on the ceiling, it's not going to be effective.
And
That's
you would recall
true.
You did hear that kind of sound.
And that's true, but if that's its source, maybe? Did it look like it was...
I don't think I saw that part. I
You
didn't see.
From the keel, you wouldn't be able to see the room. I mean, you could see the very far end of the room. There are actually like elements of that kind of mold and fungus creeping up the wall, but you can't really see much on the ceiling.
So we're good on fire?
Well, I guess, I mean, if
Alright.
rebuilding is possible,
I'm gonna
fire
start
may
making
happen.
my way to the
No.
Wait,
I grabbed
wait.
Guntir by the back. Whoa, whoa, whoa,
But from
whoa.
which direction?
Yeah,
Do you
what
want to
about...
just do it in that room?
Yeah, we'll just burn the room down.
Did the room look connected to any other rooms? Is there a way we can, like, come at from all sides?
I don't think I
Making
saw
my
any.
way. I'm trying
Unless
to.
you're
You
busting
said, well,
through the
okay,
wall.
with the 24, would I have
With the 24,
hypothetically?
because of the way that things are laid out in there, probably not.
Or if there were doors, in all fairness, too, it'd probably be covered by that stuff.
Nastiness.
I'm sneaking my way to the door.
Okay.
I mean, we all see
We'll
you.
use your previous stealth check. I mean, pretty sneaky. You're right in the middle of a group of people in a room.
Sneaky.
Well,
they-
we
they-
see
they
we
all
see you leave, yeah.
They all see you, but yeah, so you're making a very creepy approach
Well,
towards the door.
why don't we just check the other rooms? I'll just check the other 2 side rooms.
Let's do
Two.
that, yeah.
Okay.
I'll
Which ones are
do-
you checking?
Just the 2 adjacent rooms.
Okay, so presumably you're doing the one in front of Shay right now first because that's closest to where you guys are.
Maybe
Okay.
like-
Make a perception check.
Shay, would you want to check the other room, and let's all check another room just to
I
make
just
sure
assumed, sorry.
this isn't
Alright,
a
you
trap.
guys check all the other rooms.
Guns are help.
Okay, that's a 22.
I'm gonna help.
Help check a room.
I'm checking this room.
Check. A
Shay,
room
do you
hasn't
wanna-
been checked.
Oh,
Gonna
wait, you can see in the dark now.
Yes,
Why
I
don't you
can.
check that other
Okay,
room?
we're gonna get back to that in a second. We're gonna go Morwen, I guess,
Like
Gunter.
just cracking it open so I can like peek
Okay.
in with a hand.
Give me a second here on this. And then
That's
you
just
you
not
have
gonna
something that you want to do with Gunter's thing?
Or rather, it won't just happen.
I'm following him very
Okay,
closely.
so you're
I don't
following Gunter.
trust him.
Morwen. With the 22, as you even draw close, you look down and you can see there are toadstools even outside of the store. And pulling in closer, the smell increases. This seems to be where it's coming from. And as you peer in, you can see you see another Crotego. This thing, again, just standing its back to the door, the hair greasy over its face. And behind it, you see another similarly dressed individual. This one, maybe a little different. Make a history check, or make an intelligence check. Sorry, straight intelligence.
Well, that one's at least a little better. 12.
You spent a lot of time at sea, and this has kind of piratey garb, but nothing that draws your memory immediately to it.
Does it look inside out like the other one?
You don't see something that looks as if like there's been a hole burst from it necessarily, but looking at it, you can see from the back, right around the neck area, there is a similar sort of what looks like a caved in area that maybe something has then emerged from.
Yeah.
And there are parts of that, about those two things linking, that do tug on your mind a little bit, but not too much. The other thing that you notice in there, there's a very, very large mound of these sort of mushroom-like fungus things, and this almost seems to have like a pulse to it. And as you see, you can see the mushrooms themselves kind of going down and rising, almost as if this thing is breathing.
Oh, God, and you left my side. Okay, I'm running over.
So hang on. So that's what you
Okay,
just did.
okay, sorry.
Gunter, you approach.
Yeah, I was going to check out another room. Like we were playing.
I want you to check
Okay.
out the toadstool that's sticking out of the door.
You put the door open. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Probably won't have time to.
That's a 10.
Okay. It's hard to see. Your old 287-year-old dwarven eye is kind of narrow. And you do see that Cortego and the sort of bandit-looking creature that Morwen had talked about. Go ahead and make an intelligence check.
Ooh. That's...
Even in exhaustion, you're doing good. That's good.
Yeah. What was it?
Well, it doesn't have to do with us.
16?
That's why.
That's fair. The 16. You focus in on this creature that Morwen had pointed out, this bandit-looking thing. And you can see now those elements of, looks like something exploding out the back. You've been in many a battle. You've seen spear wounds before. It's a little unlike things that you've seen previously. You don't see necessarily slashing. It looks almost as if the flesh around the wound has sort of like been eaten away a little bit. And then for a moment, you remember the very first time that you fought with Heinrich. Way back in the Shaded Wood. You remember Heinrich spearing through an individual, attempting to interrogate them before you kicked them to death. Accidentally, but still.
Our plans are
a
really
real
not much
firm
better than they are now.
It was a good cop, bad cop.
Hey, I
That
didn't
was,
really.
to be fair, that was session 1, and you didn't really know so much about specifying non-lethal damage.
Yeah, but like I had the dude literally pinned through to the ground to interrogate, and you were like, meh, 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 meh.
And that wound would match the wound on this individual.
So what the fuck?
Okay, I'm gonna flame strike.
Everybody roll for initiative.
Yep, well, that's what I thought.
Wow.
Oh fuck, natural 20!
Very nice. Give me
Hey!
1 second. I'm going to pull up the appropriate music for this.
That's a 9. No, that's 6.
Nice.
It does get worse.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Or
I
it
mean-
always can.
Again, thank you, Dicey Encounters, for these dice because they're consistent. I always get bad initiatives. But
Yeah.
everything else I
It's
get
great.
good.
It's
So
no,
this-
it's true.
These are perfect.
Can't win them all.
That's totally an acceptable curse.
Yeah.
That is an acceptable curse.
These are like
I agree.
perfectly suited dice for Guntir.
Yeah.
It's
All
like
right.
you get the debuff and the initiative for plus on all the
Everything.
It's good. It's good.
Anybody with a
trade-off.
natural 20?
Yes.
Shay?
Not me.
Me.
You! Look
Me.
at Heinrich going
yes.
first.
Me.
You went to Tina?
I thought you said
sound the
natural
same.
20. You said you got to
Yeah,
have
it's-
something.
We
Earlier.
like your beard is coming in
I know, right?
nicely.
It's still in
I get the
there.
surprise Guntir round though, right?
You're
We're going
turning
to start with
into
you as a surprise. That's what we normally do.
Okay.
25 to 20, anybody?
26.
26.
If you could, and then mine would go in and grow out on your face.
All right.
That's a way
20
to
to
subvert the
15.
patriarchy is to
19.
become it
19.
and then kill it.
What is your dex modifier?
4.
Okay.
Yeah.
And,
Bud.
Gunter,
6.
you're not going last.
Hi.
Alrighty. So we are starting with Gunter, and then we're going to go to the top of the order, which is Heinrich. But, so Gunter, you are going to cast Flame Strike. Where are you centering it? It's
I
exciting.
think
Mm-hmm.
let's
First combat
see,
in 4 sessions.
I probably have seen these two guys, so I'm gonna like boop it.
Okay, and what is the area of effect?
10-foot radius.
So like the whole
So pretty
room,
much the whole room.
I love it.
like a cone right up in front of your face.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that it'll also sneaky burn down that wall.
It's
Sneaky
doing
bird.
some stuff for sure. So go ahead.
Fire.
It's a 40-foot cylinder.
Yeah, so it goes up through the
So
roof.
it's probably going down to the ground.
Okay, go ahead and what is it? It's a dex
Not
save
to the
they get?
ground, because this is the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
Well, 40 feet up.
I mean,
on the third
eventually it'll
floor.
burn to the ground.
Eventually. it will.
Yeah. Dex saving throw.
What is the DC on that dex save?
The DC is
8 plus proficiency plus modifier.
that's a 17.
Okay. They rolled a natural 19.
Oh no.
So they make a save. So go ahead and roll your damage. I believe they take half.
Yeah.
And that is fire damage, correct?
Half fire, half
4d6
radiant.
fire and 4d6 radiant.
Well, at least you're probably burning
Okay.
off all the
Go
little
ahead, and,
maggots.
go ahead and roll that.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just gonna take a couple of these.
Do you want?
guys here. Pass me that last.
What do you need?
6.
You got enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so that's
Not bad.
12, 14, 15 fire damage,
Okay, nice.
and
Ooh.
19 radiant damage.
Okay, so how much is that total?
15 and 19 is 34.
And is that halved
Fire
already?
and radiant, that's not halved.
Okay, so they take half because they made the save, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's 15, 17 damage in total. So as you reach out, you can see all of a sudden at that point that you specify, there's this brief kind of flicker of light, and you can see in this moment the Cortego's heads just mechanically almost turn, and you could see the other one behind turn just enough so that you could see the face as the flame comes up, and you can see the eye sockets just empty, with maggots rolling out of them and seeming to evaporate into air instead of dropping down. But suddenly the flame, just a pillar of fire, it actually destroys the ceiling and just emerges out. Anybody in Squall's End is witnessing this. Immediately, it's like
I'm
a
just waiting for an excuse.
blinding light that sort of takes over.
Oh, no, we
And
have to
as
go down
the
the
flame dies down, in my backpack are the actual flame markers, but
That's okay.
for the moment, everything within these dice is on fire. And as this fire erupts out, you can see now there is a section of the wall that has been almost seemingly eaten away by this mold. The mold itself is on fire. The wood is burning and smoldering and charred. But you can see a little bit through and into this room, and you can see this large mass of mushrooms and fungus just begin to almost pulsate faster and harder. I hate saying those words in
Yep.
conjunction. So, what else
You
you want
did
to
it
do?
yourself.
I think I'm gonna bonus action to give myself my +2 to
Solidarity action?
AC bonus, Shield of Faith. Yeah.
Shield of Faith. Okay, great. Cast Shield of Faith, and all of a sudden, as there is this rumble through the night sky, you can see a little bit of energy kind of out around you. You feel somewhat shielded. That is your turn?
And then I guess free action, be like, all right, it's go time.
So you guys hear this unbelievably thunderous, and then like the ceiling, you hear splintering wood,
Yeah.
and bits of timber are already beginning to fall in.
Sure, the
And then
house
you
would rock a little bit,
and then-
too.
Yeah, no, the whole house rocks, and then you feel this thunder pulsate through, and then, all right, it's go time.
Yeah, after the fact. Very nice.
Great. Heinrich, what do you want to do more when you are up?
I'm running right by
Next.
them to see if Morwen's okay.
Okay.
Because I can see them. Morwen's around the corner. I'm just like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
Okay, so
right
you,
behind
you
Morwen.
push behind Guntir.
Yeah.
Through
I do like one of
Short-
those, like the white people. I'm just gonna sneak right by you.
But in 6 seconds, so
Excuse
it's
me,
like,
sorry. Yeah.
as you burst through, you get up, you can see Morwen's fine.
Mm-hmm.
However, you can see even through the cracks underneath the door, there are flames looking into the room beyond.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
Kick the door open would be an action.
Thaumaturgy.
You can make an athletics.
Oh wait, thaumaturgy. Yeah, but that's an action itself to do it.
because it's a cantrip.
What do
Right.
you want to do?
I mean,
You have enough movement so that you could try, if you want, to kick the door down as part of your movement. I would say. Just kind of
yeah,
like a
let's just do
running-
that.
Okay, go ahead and make
So,
an athletics check.
so like to kind of move Morwen out of the way and kick the door open. And
I'm going to say in
I'm
this
not in that
moment,
way.
it's,
I guess you're not in the way, huh?
it's
Oh,
you're
cool.
shouldering past as you.
Yeah,
as you
that's
kick
kind of
down.
it. Not like, yeah, yeah, athletics. Nope.
What is it?
Fucking 2.
So as you slide through down the hallway and you skirt through, you manage to kind of like bump Morwen aside, and as you
And then I lean on the door.
plant your foot in hard, and your knee just kind of takes most of the impact and buckles in an unfortunate way, and
Ow.
you get almost no strength into the actual
That's
kick, and
fine.
your knee hurts.
Yeah.
But you can open the door if you would like. It
As
is
the-
unlocked.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm gonna.
I'll give it to you as a bonus action. You can just open the door.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's it. That's
yeah,
it.
so you open the door wide. Now, with this a little bit more open, you can
Mm-hmm.
see this quivering, moving, pulsing mass of this gray-black fungus that you're fairly familiar with. You see
Does it-
Protego, you see this other figure in the background that I would say, given the amount of time that's passed,
No, I don't know what it is.
the one in there you would.
In here?
You can see there is this black armor, this black leather armor that adorns this one. And on the back, you can see the silver profile of a unicorn. This is one of the Obsidian's haste sailors. So, anything else?
Yeah. I guess just to start it off, continuing the fire theme, I'm just gonna cast Create Bonfire right at their feet.
Okay, sure.
Just sort of like basically right here.
Okay.
Like just past him. Yeah. At
roll-
that nasty mound, because that's just like, if I saw all of those things, my gut reaction would be
can
like,
see
fuck
it's
Azra.
large. And it just kind of, it's just this,
Yeah.
and it moves with this sort of heartbeat.
Yeah.
And you suddenly just, a bonfire erupts onto the space. Roll a d6.
Oh. 1.
Okay. You can see just this mold itself is wet. And so the fire itself seems to almost immediately shrink back somewhat. It doesn't seem to be doing a tremendous amount of damage. However, it is a bonfire.
Yeah. So does it do the damage?
It does 1 damage, yeah.
Just a d6.
Isn't it just a d6?
Nope, it's 2d8 plus
Oh.
my charisma.
Go ahead. Roll charisma. Damn.
Yeah.
That's a
Oh,
fucking big
I
bonfire.
my
think we
cantrip.
thought you were saying for like an effect.
I thought that's
on
what you were saying too.
Oh,
yeah.
No. I
so
thought
like
you
the
were
attack,
casting like
create bonfire, not
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
not like, not like, ooh, start fire. Yeah,
I was
no,
thinking
like the
campfire,
actual.
not like bonfire.
No, yeah, like bonfire, 5-foot cube, any
For
creature in
sure.
it has to make a dexterity
Yeah,
save.
roll damage on that.
Does it have?
It does not get
so
to make a
it's
dexterity save.
planted, so. Oh, 8 plus 4, that's 12 plus 5 is 17.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
So the
right.
fire immediately begins to crackle away. Parts of the fungus, these little toadstools, just erupt and just sort of like immediately the things coming out of it just incinerates into the air. Black smoke is rising up, and you can see as this mold begins to emerge, black smoke starts to spill out. Anything else?
That's pretty much literally everything I can do.
Morwen, what do you want to do?
Can I get by you? Are you standing right in the doorway?
Yeah, you can fucking shove me out of the way though. I just wanted to make sure that you were safe and then just kind of continue
Or
with
instead
the
of trying to
momentum.
shove you out of the way, can I try to slip by him?
Yeah, you can
Okay.
move through an occupied space. You just can't end in a space with an ally.
Okay, because I want to sneak attack the Cortega.
Okay, go ahead and roll your attack. Okay. You're sort of like hidden around the wall, and you're just kind of taking bus and just.
Oh,
like,
are you
sneaking
staying
around.
there and like attacking blindly, or are you moving into the room?
I'm moving in.
Yeah. Okay. So, right there, perfect.
What am I doing? Okay. That's a 17.
Do you have rakish audacity? Yeah.
That's for
Advantage on
my.
it? Sneak attack?
That's for boosting up your initiative. 17 hits.
Not rakish audacity, but fancy footwork and all that shit.
Well, do
Whatever
I have
the fuck-
advantage?
whatever the
I mean,
fuck
I
it-
can use the sneak attack anyway, but do I have advantage
You
on
have
this
advantage
attack?
because you, Heinrich is within.
No,
Well,
I don't
you
need
were-
advantage if he's there.
You don't, but you were also
do
hidden.
I have it?
You were also hidden, so yes, you do get advantage. So you do have sneak attack.
All right, so that would make it a 19.
19. Yeah, that definitely hits. So you can roll your damage, roll your sneak attack damage.
My favorite part. All right,
And
so
which
this
are
is
you
for-
attacking, the Cortego or the
The Cortego.
Okay, cool.
I don't know if that guy's like dead or not.
Yeah,
enough.
same.
As far as I'm concerned, he might still be alive, and we could save him. In
Yep,
my mind,
yep,
seeing
same,
that and being
same.
like, you don't need to be our enemies.
Same,
All right,
same.
that's my
thoughts.
thought process.
Yeah,
anyway,
so roll your damage. It's a lot of
all
damage.
right, so that's going to be. It's only 2, but now I need
There's a
to
chance
count
of
my
you ruining
sneak
it. I'm
attack.
ruining you.
Sorry, I
we
just
need to
need to
get at
bring
least
up
one of
the
the enemies off our back.
Well, I saw that guy. He's dead. as dirt.
5.
That's fine.
Okay,
That
so
one's
that's
Yeah.
He's moving a lot
2.
for a dead dude.
fine. Well,
Well,
I
he's,
mean,
he's
7.
undead.
he's reanimated.
8,
Perhaps.
Alive again. Maybe not undead, but alive
14.
again.
He doesn't look like
15.
he's doing it like a normal dude would be doing it.
21. That's 26.
26. Okay.
He's hanging out with
Not my
Cortego. He's
best.
a bad
You streak through, just passing by Heinrich in an instant. There's this black and red shape that right by you, and the rapier already out in front of you. You skewer this individual, and as you do, you can see it's already beginning to turn. One of its hands, like actually grabbing onto the blade itself. You want to make another attack?
Yep,
Yeah, go ahead.
always.
Yeah, yeah.
Butts is a dirty 20.
Okay, yeah, that definitely hits.
It's a 4.
Okay, 30 total points of damage. At this point, as you pull Puss away, you can see it actually cuts 4 of the fingers off one of the hands. And then bringing the
Finger gang.
Jesus Christ, I didn't even think about that.
Yep.
Bring the short sword around, and you skewer it right where the liver would be. And as it passes through the wound itself, you can see maggots begin to spill out of both.
Gross.
You pull Butts back. Anything else?
I'm gonna back out of the room, but I am going to try to take like a good look while I am
Okay.
at his situation.
Okay. Unfortunately, in the speed of this, making like a perception check like that, that's an action. So at a quick glance, you see armor. You see in his hand like a sword. Not a lot
Nothing, and you
else.
can't see his face.
Nah, not at the moment.
All right, well, I get out of Heinrich's way.
Okay, so you pull back. If you wouldn't mind moving yourself behind
Sorry.
Heinrich or wherever you would like to be, that'd be great.
I'm gonna
That
just
is
go
your
back
turn.
to where I was right here.
It is that mound of fungus's turn.
Mm-hmm.
You see black smoke piling
chicken.
out of the one that you had burned, Heinrich. And as the smoke gets out, there's a moment where you sort of see familiar shapes. The smoke seems to coalesce into hair, and the full figure emerges. And you see the
Yzma!
familiar figure of Desara.
Oh.
Although
Why is she
not
being sent
as you
back?
last saw her, you can see the flesh itself, the sort of almost firm mist that had composed the flesh, has shifted into this pallid, waxy-looking purple. You can see like motion going through the skin as if large creatures move underneath. You can see the hands themselves, formerly drifting with like this mist, now seeming to emit almost like this pure dark smoke, very similar to the sword that you once wielded. And at this moment, as she emerges, like the fungus itself like dropping off of her and crumbling away, you can see she turns and immediately locks eyes with you.
I mean, I hold the gaze too.
And as she begins to talk, you can see little maggots begin to
Yeah.
drop out of her mouth through these sort of crumbly looking teeth. You are the last one whose blade I felt. And she pushes herself forward, like into this sort of smoke, not mist,
So incorporeal.
incorporeal.
Damn it.
Draws in, actually go past and actually find it. Yeah, for sure. Suddenly emerges, and for a moment, again, you feel that sort of pressure on your shoulder like a hand. And then she's going to go ahead and... Cool. So she's going to go ahead and just try to claw you with some of her claws.
Okay.
That is going to be a... That's real bad. 17 to hit.
Nope.
Okay. So the first one like lashes out, and in like an instant,
I feel like I would turn, like hearing that and remembering the way that she moved and like could teleport in the previous fight. I feel like I would instinctively turn around with the shield in the way.
Sure. And so as you turn around with the shield, you can see these large black protrusions, almost like claws. However, as they go through and hit, you can see elements of the smoke sort of drift through as if magically they would almost penetrate this shield. Doesn't seem to get all the way through to you, and she pulls back. She claws out again. That is going to be a 21 to hit.
Yeah.
All right. So you take 12 necrotic damage.
Okay.
And you also take, 12 slashing damage,
Okay.
as well as 6 necrotic damage.
Okay.
As it sinks into you, you feel this sort of almost like rotting sensation, as if the skin itself, and it doesn't pierce your armor, but you still feel the wound sink deep.
And with that familiar feeling, I feel like a sense of rage against that rot and the concept of who I felt wielded power over me before would just sort of explode in a hellish rebuke right on him.
Little And then, as you begin to kind of like emerge, like this anger begins to well up inside of you, you're turning and you can see this face, little bits of like rot actually at the tips of her mouth. She just sort of smiles, and as she raises up her hand, and you've seen her do this before, she snaps, but instead of filling the space with mist, there's a magical darkness that takes. You actually, I believe, can see.
Yeah.
Oh, is it the room with the toilet?
I'm sorry, I need... No. That's a good
Oh, no, wait,
linking
that was a
thing.
nightmare or something. Right?
So at the moment, everybody other than Guntir and Shay in this little cluster are in this sudden just spear of magical darkness, sphere of magical darkness.
Centered
those
on
of you,
the green D10?
it's centered on
Or
you,
like, oh, on me.
directly on you.
Oh, okay.
And it is a. Give me 1 second here. It is a 50-foot sphere.
Oh, well then so everyone.
It
then.
doesn't go around corners,
Oh, okay.
so it's like sort of like a
like
jagged looking
light.
shape. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's
It's
the opposite.
the opposite of light, yeah.
Absolutely.
Pirates! Captain's Keep!
So could I do the rebuke damage?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Absolutely. As a reaction, yeah.
Yeah.
Something
16.
that someone
16.
followed us
Nice.
from Captain's Keep.
16
You see what you
fire.
So, yeah, as the claw penetrates into your armor and you feel the rot set in, your rage bubbles over and emerges
Yeah.
out, and you could see
It's like I'm not letting her get me,
like,
take
you
me
see,
back.
You see your hand almost like erupt into this blackish flame, which quickly dies down.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a moment where she actually like withdraws, and you hear this. And as a legendary action at the end of your turn, is the end of your turn?
End of her turn.
End of
She's
her turn.
going.
Never mind, she's all done.
Yeah, that's hard time.
Shay, what do you want to do? Gunter, you're on deck.
Well, having seen this magical darkness erupt changes my plans. I'm gonna
Join
None of that was force, right?
No.
No.
Okay. Can't wait to use this ring.
I'm gonna skirt into the room around the fire and hit the one that's not burning.
Okay, so you very quickly
Yep.
leap past Gunter, get close in behind this creature that is now beginning to turn.
That's a natural 20.
Okay.
Two
Go
in a
ahead
row.
and- go ahead
Two
and
in
roll
one
damage
night.
on
Kill
that.
it. Kill
We
it.
already have 2 in one night. This is great.
14.
14. And this is not one of the ones that was hit by Gunter, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So you charge forwards, and in the same motion as you move through, you extend a leg and actually like glide across the last 3 feet. The kick, you feel bones break underneath. You can see the entire shape spin and almost fall. It barely keeps on, but now facing you, those big bulging black eyes of the Crotego are gone. They're empty sockets, and within it you can see this sort of mold already kind of growing within. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna hit it again.
Yeah, do it.
As I can. 24.
That hits.
Jesus.
6.
6, all right. So the second one, as you do, you catch yourself on your legs, almost like a superhero kind of landing, but use that momentum to spring up in an uppercut. You clip it, don't really land flush, but even that you can feel as like the jaw itself dislodges and dislocates with the force. Well done.
And last one. Because I have one more.
Oh no.
It's not good. 15?
15 just hits.
Okay.
8.
8, all right. This thing's looking pretty tough. After the uppercut, you kind of like staggers back on one foot, and you take your leg and just kick it right in the top of the leg. You can feel the muscles like distend inward and feel almost gelatinous. They don't reshape after that, so your foot leaves a fairly clear on the flesh of its thigh. You can see your foot fairly clearly defined.
So you 5-star it, but with your foot.
Basically.
Yeah, except like the muscles in like a living creature probably would be like thoroughly damaged. It's looking pretty rough. All of the creatures in that room are like burning, and like this one's staggering around. That room is not looking great.
Why are we fighting? We should just mold them into something.
Anything else?
Backing out, but
Okay.
coming to this side of Guntir because I don't want to deal with that.
Absolutely.
Protego
Gunter,
Tron.
what do you want to do?
I think I'm gonna give one. Well, wait. Shay just went over here.
No.
You didn't go into the tower.
She darted past you.
I went
You saw her
in.
just
away.
wail on one of these Crotego, and then she
okay.
I'm
immediately
now
sprung
standing next
back.
to you again, but on the opposite side of where I was.
Okay, I'm gonna be like, "What'd you see?" As I fire a guiding bolt at this guy.
Yeah, go ahead. What is that? Is that I make a save? It's like a broke. No, you have to roll an
It's a
attack.
Yeah, it's
roll
just
and
an
attack.
attack. Yeah.
Yeah, just make a ranged spell attack.
Make
and
your attack.
on a hit, you get wrecked.
Stuff.
Cool. That's 18.
That hits. Go ahead and roll damage. Roll all the damage.
I should just hold on to these. I'm just gonna hold on to Nice.
This Cortego is burning, and you can see like black ash coming off of the previous pillar of fire that erupted.
The whole place is still on fire, technically?
Yes.
Okay.
We're gonna at the top of the order. We're
Okay.
gonna resolve that.
Just a 10.
Just a 10? Okay. As you come forward and this guiding bolt erupts from your hand, it strikes the already burning and crumbling Cortego, and you hear as the spine snaps and it falls in half and dead,
Yay.
burning on the floor.
Yes, it did.
So it doesn't. We don't
Did
need
it.
advantage on that anymore.
No.
The corpse is glowing, so if one were to strike it, it would be at advantage.
Yeah.
But it is dead.
When
That
I
one has
kick
an
it
exploding corpse
at the
spell,
end of
right?
this battle,
There you
I'll
go.
have advantage on the kick.
For sure. So, anything else?
I think I'm gonna.
Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Roll concentration for the bonfire. I'll just do that right now.
Yeah, I think I'm
We're good.
gonna just move a little.
Okay.
So the fire's in this.
Yeah.
Oh, technically, I have
So like
advantage on that
5
as a
feet
forecaster.
in between the door and the fire at this point.
Yeah, give or take 5 feet.
I don't want the floor to fall in.
What are you doing?
I think I'm just gonna like kind of stay in the door.
Okay.
And just be like, if anything comes close, I'm gonna
Shut it.
smack them. Yeah.
Improvised weapon,
Yeah, they're not.
the door.
It is now their
Smash
turn.
it on their face so it's like
They
this.
try to come at me. I'm just gonna be like.
Remind me, they
And
take
then it
fire damage at the
stayed
top of their
that
turn?
way.
I believe so.
Okay. And
For
it is,
flame strike?
you roll the
Yeah.
damage, I
If
believe
they're
it's...
on, if they're on fire.
If they're on
Yep,
fire.
they're
Well,
on
flame
fire.
strike isn't a duration thing, right?
No,
No,
but they...
it's
they
just
if
areas
they're on
burning.
fire, because now they're on fire, it
Yeah.
doesn't have to do with the spell.
Roll
I
a
think
d6 for me.
Oh, I roll. How many? Just the one?
Just one. Yeah, if it's on fire, that's typically how it does it.
I'll redo that.
Cracked. Okay.
3? Okay. At the top of their turn, as they begin to turn, you see maggots drifting. Like, actually, they fall and then just into smoke and seem to drift away. You can see the fire overtake them. They had 3 health left.
Well,
Nice.
And so, or overtake the last one that's over there. So, and as he falls, you can see there are green elements to this, and you are brought back to that shaded wood. This is one of Tandor's boys.
the Tandy boys.
Who had you had originally
Remember
fought with
the
you guys
first
and
joke
ambushed
we
you
ever
guys
made.
the very first day that you set foot onto the eastern coast of Dominion.
Fucking Lil Mac.
It was Little Matt. No.
I just finally put Little Mac.
And that was 3 damage. So you can see now the floor itself is beginning to char and the fire is catching. The wall itself, there is a hole now that you can kind of see, and it's like beginning to widen as the fire crumbles wood away. There are flames licking up on the ceiling. It hasn't caught yet. You can see straight through. You can see like clouds and stuff like that. And you can see elements of like the cross section of the roof where like tiles have actually charred on the top.
I'm laughing.
It hasn't
myself,
caught- it hasn't-
Fuck this guy.
Hasn't caught well, but it is their turn.
Well, that was their turn until they died.
So
Their turn was
the pulsing
burning.
thing is a different turn, right?
Sarah is a different turn. She was in that pulsing.
She was in it. Oh, okay.
And
Well, that's good to know that I don't need to worry about keeping that thing going then.
I'm gonna slowly shut the door
can't do that, but you begin to.
as I see it coming towards me. I'm like, oh.
As it crumbles down, you can already see suddenly the skin itself seemed to move and bulge. And all of a sudden, the skin begins to go slack as the flesh itself seems to begin to coalesce outside of it. It puddles forth, but it looks almost as if like the fibrous material forms hands and like claws out. And you hear this horrible as it rips free of the skin.
Yeah.
And in their place,
Ew!
they leave these
look like
empty
something from
sacks of
Hellraiser.
skin and clothing, and all it is just maggots and fungus that have just formed over the muscles themselves to create these putrid beings. The
Yucky.
smell is horrendous.
Is it still on fire?
They are not on fire. No, the skin is on fire.
They're in a space that is on fire.
Yeah. That whole
Fortunately, you've
space is
kind
on
of-
fire.
I don't know. They look kind of wet.
Yeah, they're kind of
Like
bottlenecked
if
in
they
there.
They're kind of stuck in the fire.
Idiot.
And actually, that one, as it moves through, does catch on fire. As it goes through this small portal that has like flames looking around it, you can see it moves through, and then like the fungus itself is catching, and the smell is something that can't even be described. I mean, it's a burning
We all start
pile
vomiting.
of corpses and fungus and mold.
If someone were to animate this scene, we're all still moving incredibly badass new stuff while just like constantly projectile vomiting. But
Yeah.
our faces like aren't reacting.
Eyes watering.
We're just like, blah! Blah!
So,
Anyways.
the Hypsidium's haste sort of corpse, and as it turns and looks at you, you can see like the skin itself is falling away in places. The bone is blackened and exposed.
Yeah.
And as it like opens its mouth, it looks as if it's about to try to talk, and just like bugs and maggots
Yeah.
spill forth.
I feel like I recall the
Say
shattering
it, don't
strike
spray
that
it. Am I right?
the shattering strike that I don't know, unceremoniously murdered him with.
Hey, it killed him in the water as he swam away.
Yeah.
So
exact. It's proper.
the first one is going to swing at you.
Kindly.
Where are we here? Okay, so with this sort of, and as it takes its hand out, you can see now the sword a lot better. This is a sword made out of just pure darkness. Very, very similar to yours, however, shaped almost as a cutlass. And it swings. That is going to be a 21 to hit.
Yup.
All right. You take 3 points of slashing damage, along with 5 points of necrotic damage.
Okay.
It is going to attack again.
Okay.
That's going to be a 23 to hit.
Yeah.
And you're taking 3 points of slashing damage
Ow.
and 6 points of necrotic damage. So
Ow,
it just
plus
swings
one.
again. And this is a sword much like yours. Doesn't cause necessarily horrific physical injuries, although they are there. You feel this rot begin to sort of sink into you and permeate into your flesh.
And I'm resisting it with all my might because
Absolutely.
fuck Azra. Just
The
fuck
second
her.
one next to you is going to make attacks. That is going to be a 6 to hit.
Nope.
And so it swings, and this is the Cortego now. It's swinging with these protrusions that you were very familiar with, although these now, they seem to have like an incorporeal element to them. And I mean, they seem very much taken by Azra. It's going to be a 14 to hit.
No.
Yeah. So this Cortego, a little bit off to the side now, is like reaching out and scratching, and you hear this horrible as like the claws scrape across the scales. But the armor that you have is a little too tough for them.
None of these are Fey, right? Well, I mean, obviously not, but in their life they were.
As far as you could tell.
Okay. Well, just because the armor's benefit.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem to be reacting
Cool.
to these creatures.
Good.
At the end of their turn, Azra's going to use a legendary action.
You mean Tasada? Please.
Sorry.
Don't scare me like that.
Sorry.
That's actually her. We're
Tasada.
dead. We're fucking
We're
dead
so
if it's
dead.
actually a god.
We're
Is going to go ahead and immediately make an attack on you, Heinrich.
Yeah.
This is going to be... So suddenly,
Uh-huh.
you remember before, she was able to grasp out with the sort of mist
Uh-huh.
and grab onto creatures. And as she reaches out, you being able to actually see in all of this,
Uh-huh.
you can see this tendril of smoke like reach out from its hand. And that is going to be a 29 to
Is
hit.
this a spell?
It is not. It is
Okay.
a melee weapon attack.
Okay. Oh, what to hit?
It is a 29.
Oh, yeah. I mean, of course. Don't even ask with those rolls.
So,
Just say it hits.
you take 4 points of necrotic damage because I cannot roll damage.
That's fine.
You are also going to make a strength saving throw for me.
Of course, this fucking one. Hey, all right. 12.
You are considered grappled.
Yeah, of course. I
I
still. I mean, I wasn't gonna go for anyone else but her, so that's fine.
Paralyzed, stunned, deafened, petrified, charmed, rage. Do I not have grappled? I don't.
You should.
I should. I know I have it somewhere, but I don't have it in front
That's
of me.
okay.
So you are not restrained,
Charmed.
but temporarily. What is what it says?
Just hanging on the horn.
You are considered grappled.
Okay.
That is her legendary action at the end of their turn. We go to the top of the order. Heinrich, what would you like to do?
Okay.
At the moment, you have in front of you this sort of undead Hypsidium's haste with this rot blade, very similar to your old one in its hand. You see the Cortego
Yeah.
next to it, and behind you.
I'm like blocking the fucking door, and I'm just gonna keep taking damage. I mean, like, I'd rather stay in the way and protect Morwen. That's my thought process. So I think I'm just gonna turn
what a
around.
hero.
Shut up.
It's from that kiss, isn't it?
so precious.
If I cast darkness on darkness, does it double? No, I'm just kidding.
Still got it.
I'm gonna just turn around
I'm attacking the darkness.
because I'm like grappled, like not restrained, but grappled, like.
It's
What is it?
This
What does it
tendril
look
seems
like?
to almost wrap around you, and so in the dark, with this dark, hard to see, but
Yeah.
you see the motion more than the shape.
Yeah.
And it seems to be snaking around your torso, wrapping like under an armpit.
I can like turn around and face her. Yeah.
Yeah, you can spin.
Cool. I'm gonna spin and bonus action cast Hex, which just takes effect. And let's see, she will lose her. Let's see what's I'm gonna give her a disadvantage on intelligence,
Okay. So
and then so Hex.
So as you kind of raise your hand up,
Mm-hmm.
not even so much your hand, this is like straight from the eyes.
Yeah.
You can see the one black eye glow with this almost blue-green light, and you can see in front all of a sudden it's as if this lens shifts out, rotating with magic ciphers, and it suddenly just like expands and almost places itself like a halo above this creature. And you can see even in this dark, through this pitch black sort of mound, you can see elements of this, like this very, very faint sort of teal light. But it is currently at disadvantage on intelligence saving throws and checks.
Yep, and takes an extra 1d6 necrotic whenever I hit it with the thing.
Nice.
And then that's next round, so then I'm going to use my second, I guess now, spell, Synaptic Static
Okay.
action.
So, okay.
And I'm going to center it, not, like, obviously it would hit everyone, so I'm just going to cast it against the area where the door is, so like the sphere kind of.
I see. So the
like,
end of it catches.
Yeah, and like conveniently no one else is in that area.
Sure.
So I'm focusing on that because that
That's an
seems to be the
intelligence saving?
source. It's an intelligence save, yeah. So
Okay.
disadvantage on it. Unless it has a score of 2 or lower.
It does not.
Yeah, okay, that's
It's not terribly high
sure.
because she rolled a 9.
Okay, so
That's
she
a 7.
fails that against my 17 and takes 8d6 psychic and 1 extra d6 necrotic. And rolls a d6 to subtract every attack and ability check and constitution saving throws to maintain concentration for 1 minute. So if you can help me remember all that shit, because now stacks on stacks, but yeah.
But
All
some
right.
of it's on you.
So 3, 7, 8, 12, 17,
Okay.
22.
God, 22. I'm just like doing 2 at the same time. 26, 31, psychic, and then
Okay.
2 necrotic.
Okay.
And then
Takes 33 points of total damage.
Yeah.
Great.
And so disadvantage on intelligence, everything, minus a d6 for attacks and abilities, and has disadvantage on constitution saving throws to maintain concentration, which if this thing grappling me... Nah, okay.
It's a melee,
Well, you
melee
know,
weapon attack.
that's all good, it's all good.
You would actually kind of, in this moment, as you do that and recognize that it should fade,
Sure.
you recognize this is just a different
This is just like
form
a
of that
power.
rock blade.
This is just a power.
In the same way
Yeah.
that you could change the shape of your weapon, so
Yeah,
can these creatures.
Exactly.
However,
Figured as much.
that is your turn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. At the end of your turn,
I'm faithful.
she's going to use a legendary action called Soul Drinker.
Meh, meh.
Go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw, please.
She's gonna drink your soul.
Damn it.
Watch out.
she's a Dementor.
Yeah, that's an 8. That's
That's
not
a
good.
failure.
Yeah, of course it is.
All right, so you are going to take.
Why would the friggin'
What was that?
that straw from that place? That's even worse. The symbolism.
Thank you
is-
for that. I
The
appreciate that.
symbolism is horrendous.
But yet so good.
Yeah. All right. That fucking clown.
You take. That is going to be 28 points of necrotic damage, and you are stunned until the end of your next turn. You are not.
wait, minus
you are not marked unconscious, correct?
Correct. Barely. Holy fuck.
Stunned. There's a little pile of rings over there.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit happening over
So
here.
as this
I
tendril...
thought it said stoned. That's a good ring to have.
3D Maker works.
Yeah.
So you feel the tendril itself sort of pulse, and you feel your life force being drawn out of you. The warmth in your body, like being sapped away, and you feel yourself grow weaker. And all of a sudden, you feel as if you can't move your body.
Yeah.
And you hear Dasara whisper, "I will do to you what you did to me. The Portent doesn't forget."
Fuck that.
That is the end of her legendary
God damn
action.
it.
That's the end of your turn. That brings us to Morwen. What do you want to do?
Is it still pitch black?
It is still pitch black. You see nothing.
So I didn't even see that little like something from when
You
he
saw like
texted
a
her.
glint of this teal light, but it's gone.
If I can't see anything, then I'm just gonna attack that area and hope for the best.
Okay, make your attack at disadvantage. So I believe it's just a flat roll for you.
Can I sneak attack too? Because he's technically there.
You would have been able to. You need to be at advantage to get your sneak attack.
I don't if someone's next to him.
Okay, sure.
No, as long as there's an enemy of my enemy within 5 feet of
Okay.
it as well.
Does it say you roll at advantage or you?
You don't need advantage on your sneak attack roll.
Okay. Go ahead. Yeah, for sure. They
No,
can't-
I mean you don't need advantage if that's a thing to do the sneak attack.
Yeah, and that,
Does that
so,
make sense?
Yeah, so
Okay.
you can absolutely make a sneak attack of this.
I'm finally learning how to do a sneak attack,
Good,
guys.
Yeah.
You can
Alright.
pretty much do
A year
it
later.
like
You,
All the
you-
time.
There are very
Swashbucklers
few instances,
are always basically almost.
Yeah, there are
always.
very few instances where you can.
5. Okay.
as swashbuckling.
So let's just hope that I fucking smack this bitch. So it's at disadvantage though.
Yes.
I wasted a natural 20.
What would you actually get?
I got an 11.
An 11. 11 does not hit, unfortunately. So you swing out with Puss the rapier, and it just seems to go wide. Hits nothing.
I try to attack it with true butts
Go
for
for
the
it.
sake of it. It's a critical fail.
Okay.
You're gonna
It would
fucking
be a
kill me.
5. Well, it'd be a 5.
What are you attacking?
The darkness.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, the dark.
Well, no, I saw the light, and all I know, I don't
Yes.
know what shape you're in. I don't know
No, this is
anything.
fine. This is
so
fine.
I'm just going
Morwen,
for
roll a d6 for me.
Uh-oh. You just stabbed Heinrich in the
6.
butt.
Oh, I pussed
You
the wrong butt.
swing, as you swing true butts out, you feel it like collide with something wood and get stuck. And it's currently wedged into the door frame. And as you try to pull, it seems fairly stuck. You're gonna have to use a check probably to free that if you want to.
I still have movement.
Yes.
So, remembering where I was before I went black, I'm gonna feel like the wall to try to get to the other edge and try to find like everyone else.
Okay.
Does that?
Yeah,
I
you
can do that.
You can do that,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, it's a very. You're in a 5-foot hallway, so it's very easy for you. Like any way that you move, you'll touch a wall
Oh,
eventually.
and I'm gonna bonus action do it sneakily, even though it's all black anyway. But I don't want people to hear me.
You can't really stealth with a bonus action.
I can only.
Well,
I
you-
can hide.
with-
okay.
with-
Yeah, you can bonus
No,
action
that's
hide in the darkness if you want.
With
Black
rogue.
cat in
Well, hold on.
darkness. I'm fine.
Can't rogues do bonus action disengage?
You could. Yeah.
Bonus action disengage.
And-
Bonus
and-
action disengage.
There you
yeah,
go.
yeah,
Bonus
yeah,
action
I'll do that.
disengage. Okay. Where do you
I was
want?
like, shut up.
Do you want to move somewhere?
I'm gonna do what I was saying to try to round the edge and just try to get some distance.
I feel like the attention isn't on you now, anyways, so you're probably not.
Well, I'll just round the corner because I'm hugging this one, right? Okay. Yeah.
Still in darkness, but yeah, you feel now reaching out one side wall, the other side wall. You're in that hallway. You know roughly where you are. That is the end of your turn.
Wouldn't I be at? Because they can see, can't they?
They can see in the area that they're in, but they can't see through the sphere. They
And
can't
I'm
see
like
any of
in
you.
it still.
Yes.
Okay.
It goes
Around the corner? Did you say
It
it couldn't go
it
around?
goes 50 feet, and it doesn't go around the corner. But look where she is currently. It's under 100. Actually, you know what? You are just in it. You're kind of standing half in and half out of it. So I would say you can see them now. Yeah.
Can I can see them?
You can see in this direction. You see Guntir right in front of you, and you see Shay right beyond that.
So I just almost step out of the black.
You're half in and half out. Yeah. So it's like light. It's
Think of it
around
as
the
light.
corner a little bit.
Yeah,
Yes.
And I'm like,
Sure.
yeah.
Your eyes, yeah, the pupils dilating and everything.
Yeah.
Is that your turn?
if I see them, I'm gonna be like, help! That's my turn.
Okay.
Alright.
As a bonus action, she vanishes, and so do you.
What?
And you reappear, and there's a moment where you feel yourself traveling through dirt.
Yeah, the familiar maggot-filled dirt.
Just like
Wait, actually, is this a bonus action?
and all of a sudden, as the dirt like erupts and you emerge from it, you feel fire.
Ah! But not really. More like,
Yeah, it's like a light kind of hurt, although she does not know that.
Yeah.
So that is
What an
her
idiot. Never had a
legendary action.
tiefling before.
That brings us to, it's her turn. Her legendary actions come back, and now in this space, while holding you, and you can see now this like inky black tendril around you, she holds out her hand, and Guntir, all of a sudden you watch as 3 bolts of this dark purple crackling energy emerge and streak towards you.
Minus the d6 from all your attacks.
Yep.
Is it like porter cover or anything? Because I'm behind the door still.
And the
You
Crataega's in the way.
you haven't closed the door again. That's an action.
But I have not gone in.
Yeah,
I've just been with my hand and my face, and
As they did not benefit from cover from you doing that, you are not benefiting from cover either. However,
Wait, and then the blackness is gone too because it's centered on me. So it's only in this room. Right?
where are
Right?
you?
You
now?
cast the darkness on me.
So
it's
where
like,
that is right now?
So all of a sudden
hang on one
everyone
second.
can see. Well,
Give me a second.
you guys could already see.
The
I
darkness
can see with
actually
both
no.
eyes.
So the darkness would fade. So there's,
Oh,
there's
okay.
no darkness. So as she does that, that does not follow. Excellent point.
Yeah.
So the first attack is a 7,
that's
and so that misses. You see this bolt
It's It's a
of
borscht.
Eldritch Blast energy just go straight by you.
Sausages shoot from her hand.
The second is going to be a 12.
Fuck.
that is also a me.
And
You're
so
doing
as
the
it
d6,
goes-
yeah?
Yeah, I'm doing the d6. Because you rolled a 16 and then it was -4.
Yeah.
The third one is going to be a 5. So all 3 of these bolts of Eldritch Blast, they strike behind you into the wall, and you see the wood itself crumble in slightly and seem to almost age. And these little bits of toadstools begin to already start to postulate, and worms begin to drift down. That is her action. As a bonus action, she already did that. You can only do it once a day. Cool. Heinrich, you begin to hear and also feel this sort of deep drum beat begin. Very, very familiar sound.
Dreams.
And I need everybody to make a wisdom saving throw.
Ah, you know I'm stupid.
Does this? Hold on, I have to check.
Oops, sorry, I was a little aggressive. 16.
Okay.
19.
Okay.
That's
All right. Ooh, wisdom saving throw?
Yep.
21.
Okay. Heinrich, you feel for a moment almost pulled towards these drums, but you resist. Same with you, Shay.
got a critical fail 9.
Okay. That's a great critical fail. but
Wow, yeah, how did you
Morwen.
quickly fail at 9?
You hear and feel these drums. This rhythmic, almost war drum beat. You don't necessarily hear it, but you almost feel it in your soul. And on your next turn, you must move your full action, movement, and bonus action to reach the spot that Sada can see, and she is centering on herself. So you need to use your full turn to get as close to her as possible. Gunter,
Oh, I
same
thought
thing
I
with you.
passed it. Shit.
16 is a failure.
So I'm affrighted.
You are not frightened.
No.
You must use your full turn to get as close to her as possible.
Oh, as close to her.
Yes.
Oh.
That is her turn.
Right into the fire.
That is going to
Negative
bring us
fright.
to
A fondage.
Shay. What do you want to do? Gunter, you're on deck.
The Crataega's taking up the whole door space, right?
Yes.
There's gotta be
That is unfortunate.
And you can see, like, beyond Gunter, beyond the
Such a
creature, beyond the creature in the door, there's just like
Falls in
flickering
love.
flame, and you
50-50
can see
attack or something.
now like elements of the corner of Heinrich's shoulder.
I'm gonna hit the Crataega.
Okay, go ahead.
Temporarily share space with Guntir, and
Okay, yeah.
we'll deal with that later.
Vault off of him. not hobby horse. What is it?
19?
19. Yeah, so you jump up and using Guntir, like his shoulder as like a plant, you plant one leg and leap into like a snap kick. That definitely hits.
Hey.
We've done this
Just
before.
breakdancing on top of Guntir.
It's 5.
He's got that flat, wide
Exactly
old man
the
back.
amount of damage you needed. You with this snap
no.
kick, you hit it
No.
flush in the chin, and the head itself, you hear the skin as it tears free, spirals up, hits the ceiling, and then drops down into the flame. That Cortego is dead.
Perfect.
And
Yeah.
it's just gonna come
For
back
now.
as a gross fleshy thing.
Yeah, but
It's gonna turn into a slurpy maggot.
a Slurpee.
Man, you got the name spot on.
A Slurpee maggot? Wow,
Gross.
nice.
Slurpy Maggot Boy.
Oh, yeah, nice.
And I have no way of knowing that they're
Featuring Lil Mag.
affected by the thing, so I'm gonna pop back to where I was.
Okay. You just pop right back after kicking this thing's head off, feeling pretty satisfied with yourself.
Yeah,
Anything else?
that's it.
Guntir, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna move closer to her because that is what I can do, right?
Yeah.
Can I do other things, including?
You need to
like,
move everything to get closer. You can do nothing that will not get you closer to her.
Once I get close to her, can I hit her?
You cannot, unfortunately. So you
Yeah, see, that's
use
the
your
question.
full thing, and as you
I'm going to
move-
walk right up to you, and then I'll hit you. With the
As you
arrows.
move, it's like you're drawn.
Ah.
You can just move the fire things out. Remember that the
I
whole room's on
She's
fire.
just so ugly.
Guntir, you also take
I
4
can't
points
believe it. I
of
have to
fire
touch
damage
her.
as you
She's
enter
so
into
hideous.
the flames that you have started.
Why am I doing this?
You hear this drum beat in your ears, and you feel yourself pulled, almost as if,
Rhythmically marching.
yes, there is an element of this that seems very militaristic in style. But that is your turn. At the end of your turn,
Have I lost concentration as well?
you have not. No, that doesn't affect your concentration in any way for some reason. However, Heinrich, go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Stop it.
Oh, and this is not technically an attack either.
No. Well, 9.
9.
Well, because these dice are Azra's dice. So it's like appropriate. As long as I'm not negative 72, I'm fine.
Man,
Pretty close.
Yeah.
you take 39 points of necrotic damage
Yup.
and are stunned until the end of your
I'm
next
not
turn.
stunned. I'm unconscious.
Oh,
I'm down.
You can mark off a death saving failure
Automatically.
automatically. A creature that goes unconscious in this way immediately marks off 1 death saving failure.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, sweaty.
And I
It's
see
alright.
him go down.
If
right?
I have... I mean, I'm not down. I'm still grappled, right?
Yeah, you were
She's still like holding me
Oh, yeah.
technically. So.
She's pulling the life force from your
If
body.
I'm gonna fucking die, it
This
better be by
ability-
my own backstory
this
than a random
ability-
NPC.
This ability is called Soul Drinker.
Okay.
She's literally drinking your soul.
Yeah, that's appropriate.
All right, that is her bonus act, or that is her legendary
It's
action.
nerve wracking.
That brings us to Guntir. No, wait, that was your turn.
Yes.
Yes,
Shitty
that is now their turn.
Yeah, I just moved.
It's almost like I deserve this.
You can't die. Ah, get away from me!
So, yeah, I can't believe that's right there, and then this thing, and that dead Cortego.
is no longer a big potato, but a Slurpee.
You see again
Code
the
red.
flesh crawl out of the skin, separating and leaving it behind as it rises up. The way that this is going to work out,
is poorly.
Yeah, probably.
you are taking 2 attacks. The first one is going to be a solid 9.
Meese.
Great. Second one a little bit better, but not much. It's 15.
Also meese.
So these two things, as they move, you can see there's elements of it falling out. The musculature rips as it moves. This is not a well-designed creature. Almost as if whatever this thing is, kind of almost hibernating inside these creatures, not fully formed. But as it swings out at you, there are parts that just fall away. It misses twice. Or both of them miss. One is going to make an attack on you, Shay. That is going to be a 15 to hit. There you go. So again, these creatures not fully formed are falling apart as they move. The shambling sort of bandit thing, now that you can see it, there are just maggots pouring forth from these empty eye sockets. and it swings. That is. So as it swings with this blade of rot, something about the way in which your blade is kind of stuck, it almost pierces itself and has to move back, and it lets go, and this thing just vanishes. It's a critical fail on its attack.
Wow.
Dang.
All right.
Nice.
Next.
A 1 versus a 1. All right.
That is their turn. But at the end of their turn, Tasada is going to make another attack against you. You are still grappled. Make a Constitution saving throw.
Don't I automatically fail because I'm
I believe
unconscious?
so. So that means that you are going to take. You can mark off a death save, a
Right.
death fail rather for this.
Right, so damage doesn't matter because...
Unless it just. Yeah, actually,
Yeah,
I don't
like
think
there's
it
no
can do-
damage
yeah, it
anymore.
can't do
Anytime
double.
I take damage.
So
if it's an
theoretically-
Oh my
attack
god! If you get a hit
and it
again,
makes a
he's
crit,
gonna
then that's
die.
2.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it did not crit, so
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Yeah, you're.
I mean, like, what else could I
In
have
rough
done in this
shape.
situation? If we
that
left,
brings
that was
us
it,
Run.
to
I
Heinrich.
guess.
It is your
Okay.
turn.
Well, this is it, folks.
Oh my god! I'm so nervous.
I mean, it's Azra's dice, so if it happens, that makes sense. Yep. Bye, Heinrich.
Oh
And
my
so
god!
In
Really?
this
Yep.
moment, as
He's
this
done.
tendril pulses,
Rough.
you can
Yeah.
see Heinrich's sort of reddish clay skin suddenly go pale.
So shook it.
Yeah.
You can see the eye, the black eye, suddenly flicker and revert to gold, and they stay open, unblinking. Heinrich is dead.
Gone. I hope I'll try to theme my next character around if Drew already started those dice.
Oh yeah. Shay, what do you want to do? Or sorry. That was Heinrich's turn. Morwen, what do you want to do?
Well, I have to move towards the bitch.
You do full movement and full turn. You
I draw out my true steel though,
okay?
so I am still
You
dual
still
wielding.
fair enough. You still have both of your swords. That is
so am
your
I
turn.
like in a trance?
Not a trance. It's almost as if your legs are marching you towards there. You can't really control them. You don't want to go, presumably, but you are inexplicably pulled towards this creature. And as you see Heinrich's dead body in front of Tasada. She turns and just begins to smile at you.
And I'm hysterically crying.
That is your turn. At the end of your turn, the tendril around Heinrich's body suddenly into smoke, dropping bits of fungus onto the floor. And she is going to use a legendary action. You see, all of a sudden, disappear into smoke. And reappear right here. And Shay, you can see her head turn around and look at you.
Hi.
You were the one who killed me.
I don't think so, but alright.
That is
Take
her
your
bonus
body to
action. That
Laura.
brings us to that brings us to her turn. So her legendary actions come back. She is going to become incorporeal, move over, reappear behind you, and she is going to make 3 dark
There's
claw
ways
attacks.
we can do. There's ways around.
That is going to
this,
be
I think
22 to hit.
Yep.
That is
it
gonna
won't be as pretty, but
You take 8 points of necrotic damage, as well as 8 points of slashing damage. Second attack is going to be a 21 to hit.
Yep.
That is going to be 4 points of necrotic damage,
I've got
as
that.
well as
but
12
just
points of
two, I'll
slashing
take
damage. Final attack is going to be a 23 to hit.
Yep.
those. Should we just take his antlers?
It's going to be 10 slashing damage
Make a really
and
cool
1
candle.
necrotic damage.
What can you make out of this tiefling skin?
Ew, that's disgusting.
Gross.
That is her turn.
I'm sitting right here.
Each one of these attacks, as they slash into you, you feel as if almost not poison, but the skin itself, where it tears open, begins to kind of necrotize and turn purple. Nothing stat-wise.
Yep.
However, it is gross. That is her turn. That brings us to Shay. Guntir, you're on deck.
punch the fleshy thing in the face.
Yeah, go for it.
As I can. 23.
23 hits, yeah.
Nice.
10.
10?
D6 is rolled so fucking well.
You swing hard, and as you hit this thing, it pulverizes
It's a
it. This
real
creature
morning
already
for you in the
struggling to
chat.
maintain its corporeal form, it just scatters into flesh and maggots and fungus.
Great.
What are you doing?
This is shit. I am
What are you doing, Jay? You about to lose your turn?
burning 2 for haste,
Okay.
and I'm leaving
Okay, where are you going? Down the stairs?
downstairs.
With your haste, you can go outside. So there is you would know, there is a front door and a back door.
Front door.
And so you, with this burst of speed, fly straight through her. She is incorporeal as she completes the move, and you burst, like bits of smoke trailing behind you. You dart down the stairs, through the hallway in which your friends had slept the previous night, down the stairs again. You run out, not hearing Xanafer or anything in the speed that you move. There are like glasses falling off tables in the wake of your movement. Again, this place not having been cleaned up very well, and you burst through the door and into this cold night air.
I'm going to start moving toward the monastery, creating all sorts of ruckus.
Even as you move, you can see there are people coming in your way.
Great.
Monk army!
You see 4 figures heading in your direction, and you actually, given your eyesight, you can see they're being led by Era.
Wonderful. Moving in their direction.
Okay, that is your turn.
Oh, I thought you were abandoning us.
Nope.
Oh. Well, Morwen doesn't
is
know
going
that.
to
Morwen
bring
doesn't
us
Like, she
to
doesn't know shit.
The fire signal.
Gunter. What are you going to do?
Yeah, what the hell?
That's what did it.
Literally what's saving you guys potentially right now.
Fucking Gunter.
What are you going to do, Gunter?
Oh,
I'm
because they
gonna-
saw it. I see their
Am I still drawn to?
No, that's
Okay.
over. You're back
Great.
to your
I'm
effect.
gonna be like, Heinrich, no! I'm gonna go grab him, revivify,
Okay, what's the casting time on Revivify?
an action, but
Okay.
it needs to consume 300 GP worth of diamonds,
Which you have.
which Heinrich has on his body.
Okay.
And so I will consume.
Oh, and you know that he has them too.
Yeah, because
you've
you
gone
both
all of
looted
his
through my
shit.
shit.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
like it's
Well
like
played.
this is the most
Okay.
fucked up shit ever because I've been mad.
Hey, you're the one
Meta. I've been mad. Fuck you. Meta. I've been mad that they've been going through my shit, but like canonically, it's like appropriate and
Yes.
like literally saving my
When
life.
you used to sleep, you would look through your diary and read them out loud.
Yeah, this is amazing. Okay. Unexpected, but fantastic. Okay, so you cast Revivify. And as you do, Shay, you outside
Oh my
suddenly
God,
are aware
that's
that there
hilarious.
is
That's hilarious.
light that is kind of spreading out, and looking up, you can see the clouds like separating. You can see for a brief instant stars and moon, and then there is this deafening, shattering thunder. Windows in the area, in the actual Frostmare, shatter outwards. All around you guys, the windows just burst on all 3 floors. Downstairs, this beautiful mosaic of the actual tale of the Frostmare itself, each mirrored individual piece, like shatters inwards. And all of a sudden, Heinrich, there is this sudden existence again. What are the effect on that? That is an interesting spell.
You touch a creature that has died within the last minute. That creature returns to life with 1 hit point. It can't return life to creatures that have died of old age, nor can it return any missing body parts.
So Heinrich, all of a sudden,
Should have taken a horn.
for a minute, you think again, and since you've died, those drums have just gotten louder.
Yeah. I mean, I knew where I was going.
But all of a sudden, the drums feel as if they fade into a single beat, and you realize from this darkness your heart has once again restarted, and then instantly you hear Gunter.
Can I get an extra hit point out of like anger of being yelled at back to life?
No. But you are, nevertheless, still alive.
Fucking Christ. This is
Holy shit.
ridiculous.
Really impressive.
This is
Gunter, well
ridiculous.
Are you not happy?
I am. It's just like, holy fuck.
All right.
The
it
turn of
is-
events and everything that led up to that was just like...
And the best part about that, because of
Yeah.
where it's happening, Tasara can't see it.
yeah.
But on the end of that turn, she's going, man, she can't see anybody right now.
Can I
She
use
last
bonus
person that she saw
action
is
to,
you.
like-
So actually, she disappears on her bonus action and moves 15 feet.
Yeah,
Rhea
get out,
is here.
get out.
She's heading. Yeah, she's chasing Shay.
Oh wait. I wanted
Did you have
to-
anything else?
I think healing word you a bonus action.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for sure. Roll the healing.
One of them heals you.
Okay. One of
I
the...
think it's a D6 or D4.
Because he just keeps yelling, Heinrich, and one of them is just healing word.
Yeah.
Slipped in there because Gunter doesn't necessarily know that he's casting magic.
No.
Yeah, D4 plus 5. So
That's pretty good.
That's very good.
Pretty good.
It's at least more than you can roll on a d4.
that's 8.
Nice. All right.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. So you come
Turn
back
that 1
from
into
the
a
brink
9.
of oblivion, and suddenly one of the grating Heinrichs that's hitting your ear suddenly actually feels kind of good.
Yeah, it's sort of like, yeah, exactly. It's like,
SpongeBob when he's playing the thing coming down.
okay.
However, it is their turn.
Because I'm a child, and I've only made SpongeBob and Disney references this whole time. So
Yeah, we missed you, Morwen.
I'm back.
You're still prone. Yeah, I'll leave you here because you're prone.
Yeah, just, I'm like, I still probably look dead.
All right, Morwen, the first one swings at you, and you can see already like the arm is separate. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's going to be a 10 to hit. These things are the worst.
How foolish.
One behind you, Gunter, you don't even really notice because it only rolls a 6, but it's swinging at you. And you would feel little elements of like bugs hitting you in the back. And that's all they got.
Did you feel a breeze?
Again, Sarah, at the end of their turn, bonus action, disappears, reappears 15 feet farther.
She doesn't walk, she just like poop.
She like into smoke, and the smoke like streaks forward and then reappears. Like she's doing
already
that.
moving.
As she's running, she's doing that, and like she kind of keeps appearing and then disappearing.
It's
and
like frame
reappearing.
skipping.
Kind of, yeah. That is the end of their turn. That brings us back to the top of the order. Heinrich, what do you
Okay.
want to do?
Immediately,
Rise.
the feeling of returning to life, I'm going to continue that feeling and use my healing light feature.
So as you feel that grating
as a
voice of
bonus.
Gunter suddenly
Twist it.
kind of heal you,
Yeah.
you embrace that and you push forward into this reservoir of healing you have.
Right. Let me just do that first as
Sure.
a bonus action. Ooh, 4, 6, 7, 11, and then there you go. Plus 17 healing.
Okay,
That's
great.
the most that I can roll at once.
So you feel all of a sudden this weird sensation in your eye, and for those looking, you can see Heinrich's eyes again covered in that black. And as that happens, you can see little elements of this sort of shifting cipher of arcane runes that seem to encircle Heinrich, and elements of the injuries that he sustained, and you are badly hurt, begin to stitch themselves back together and close up as you heal in front of Gunter's eyes.
And I have a flavor to ask you.
Sure.
I'm casting Word of Radiance
Okay.
at like this momentum, the tip of the momentum, basically.
Okay.
And can it be in Celestial?
Sure.
And can it be the word? Oh shit! I just had it.
Oh shit.
No. I just fucking had it. It's in Celestial, so no one understands it. I'll tell you what the word is when I remember it,
Sounds great.
because it's going to be the same
Has
word
it
every time. It has to make
less
sense.
than an hour since we were at the temple.
It has been more than an hour since you've been at the temple, yeah.
Never mind.
Okay, so I do that.
Sure.
So every creature that I choose within 5 feet of me, so just those two, I guess, because they're right there, takes 2d6 plus my charisma. Oh, that was so shitty. these beveled corner.
Slow motion 1.
All right. So 10 radiant damage.
Okay. And that's to which ones?
To the code red flesh slurpee and the Crotega.
All right, let me see. The Crotego had 28 damage. Okay.
Yeah.
So as the healing begins to stitch you together and you feel whatever being has granted you power, like letting it flow through you.
In fact, I wouldn't even know what that word means. It just happens.
Yeah, you open your mouth, and all of a sudden you hear Heinrich's voice, but it's as if it's twinned, and the second one speaking lower but higher at the same time. This strange, powerful voice.
You brought him back
Like
possessed.
you're hearing overtones of it.
Yeah, like you're hearing overtones of it. This is a creature speaking behind. Almost as if Heinrich is the voice that's coming through a voice changer, but the true voice is somewhere deeper. And all of a sudden, you see the creature, the Cretago itself. You see like the dark pits of eyes, the maggots going out. There's this teal glowing, and then they burst beams of light as this Cretago is dead. This shitty
Come
piece
back,
of
take one
flesh. They only have 10 health.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly enough.
Interestingly, that's radiant damage.
Yeah.
The Cretago that you down,
Doesn't.
you can see like the light pouring forth. Nothing seems to be stirring within the skin.
Just
you see
deflating
just
it.
little bits of smoke, regular smoke.
Regular smoke.
Regular
That's,
smoke.
That's my favorite kind.
It's the best kind. And yeah, that is your turn.
Not heavy smoke.
Correct?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll stand up.
Okay, so you use half your movement to stand up. Still, I would say at this moment,
I feel like
there
I
are
would kinda-
still like these little glyphs almost around you, not dancing necessarily, but they seem to almost be orbiting.
Yeah.
Swatting flies.
And then I just turn and face the Hypsidium Ace guy.
Okay.
Like, just facing him.
Sure. So you turn and seeing this individual now, the face distorted and seems to have been at some point waterlogged, and then the flesh sort of hanging loose in places.
And I grin.
Huh?
And I grin
Okay.
at it. In like a... I'm not going to use that phrase because of RIP the show, but not
Sure.
this week.
That is their turn, Heinrich's turn. We are at Morwen.
I attack the Obsidian Sace guy.
Okay. Yeah, make your attack.
It's not before next dawn.
Ah, farts. 14.
One more circle of
14. Okay. That is just a miss, unfortunately. So as you swing forward at this creature, you notice like Heinrich up, moving, like little bits of light going around him, and it distracts you just enough to miss this creature.
Okay, I hit him with True Steel.
There you go.
True steel.
9.
true butts.
No, True Butts is stuck in a wall.
And that one misses again. Yeah, True Butts is now like right kind of from where you are. Oh, you can't see it. It's outside on the other side. That is your turn.
No, I stream. Fuck you.
Fair enough. Free action. Fuck you.
Make sure to spit a little bit on the...
That is
Oh,
my
yeah.
turn.
No, I'm just yeah, it's like still attached to my lips, some of it.
That brings us to Azra's turn.
Sarah.
Sorry, I keep
It's okay. It's okay.
I mean, close enough.
It's the source.
Thesauruses.
It's the source.
Why are we scared of a thesaurus?
Actually, at this moment,
The library.
Oh,
at the
she's
center.
gonna kill.
you can see.
Xenifer.
Actually, none of you can see this. This is like a cinematic thing where Xenifer, shirtless, the whole thing like rumbling. There's this deafening crack of thunder. He's finally made it to his door. He's like just has opened it, and he's coming out and just going. What seems to be, and all of a sudden, around the corner, as it bursts back from its smoky form, Tasara, the Queen of the Mist, just howls into existence. He immediately just shuts down. But that is her turn. That brings us
What
to...
kind of place is he
I know why I'm saying
running?
that.
Bed bugs. What the hell? This guy's sus.
You know what it was?
That's
I wrote
why
Azra where I
Guntir
meant to
gave
write Tasara, so I kept
You
looking
keep
at
looking
it and
at
then
it. Yeah,
saying
that's fair.
Shay, what do you want to do?
How close is the
And
approaching
because he's slighted
party?
in
Like,
No
are
more
they
than
small?
60 feet.
way.
So we'll get there in the next turn or so,
Oh god. Also
Like,
sensitive.
Probably, yeah.
theoretically. Cool.
He called me a clown.
Would have seen the
You're
windows
gonna-
burst
you're gonna
out.
be sick.
Yes.
Great.
And then
Running
burn
back,
his
still
place
with
down.
haste, running up the wall
See
and through the
who's
window.
laughing now.
Okay.
And I come out looking like a hero.
Heinrich, from where you are, on your left, there is like this broken window. You can see outside. All of a sudden, you hear from outside this, and Shay just like as she ran straight up the wall and comes into the window. Shay, you appear right here at the edge of the fire, What do you want to do?
Gonna keep moving.
Okay.
I'm gonna take out the fleshy guy. Or hit the fleshy guy.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an attack.
Just fly across the room.
It's flying kick all the way
Yeah.
across.
I'm like,
25.
25, yeah, roll damage on that.
say look, Heinrich, so ah!
7.
7. It doesn't actually kill it. So you run
I
up
don't know
and
if
you
I
end
saw
up
him die, though.
kicking it, your leg sinking almost like 3 inches in. And you feel like the muscles like break apart underneath, but it's still standing.
I just love the image, and I think I captured it perfectly in my mind.
14.
Running up
14?
the fucking side of the building.
Just a miss, unfortunately.
That's okay.
Running up the side of the
Sure.
building, like jumping
Dirty 20.
Jumping
That
off
hits.
like,
Go ahead and
the
roll damage.
threshold of the window and
to
just-
do like a backflip
6.
to catch the upper sill and swing yourself right in.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Just like, do.
This thing now, you kick through, you pull your leg away, and you can see the muscles like falling away, bits of maggots drifting out, and then you like come forward, you miss with a punch, you miss with a punch, and then finally you just end up grabbing it by the rough shouldery areas and just sinking your knee straight through the torso, bisecting it, and it into a wet mess out of the floor. It is dead.
You made a
got
mess.
stain on your kneecap.
You made a wet
Gonna
mess.
brush it off. There's a whole horde of monks coming. We gotta go.
Go get praise for saving the day.
Sure, let's go.
All right, that is going to be your turn. She will use her legendary action. That's fine. She doesn't need to go. I don't know.
What about this guy?
Yeah, I want his obsidian haste armor.
That is her.
I feel like that would be a good thing to
action.
have
Gunter, what
on
do you want to
hand.
I guess I'm gonna just guiding bolt the last dude. And
Okay.
Walk out.
Yeah, roll your attack.
Like,
There's still a glowing corpse in the other room.
Yeah. No, it's like right at his feet.
Yeah,
that's 10.
10 misses. So you fire out
Oh.
this bolt of radiance.
Wait. No, I'm not gonna waste that.
This bolt of radiance, and you feel it. And you felt one of these before. Go right past your ear and explode into the wall. Radiant light erupting out, like singes your hair just a little bit.
And all the rest of my hairs are now like electrified. I'm like poof.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're.
Take care of it, will ya? I'm gonna head downstairs.
What are you, 25?
Yeah.
So you
No,
kind
he's
of wave off
287.
and just begin to shuffle your way down the hallway. That is your turn?
Yep.
Okay. Heinrich, what do you want to do more when you're on deck?
All of the Eldritch Blasts with the pushback force on that dude.
Okay. Yeah, roll your attacks.
Just kind of like,
And you can see it's like beginning to move towards you, this blackened rot blade in its hand.
yeah, like no change of the facial expression.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, first one's a 19.
That hits. Roll damage on that.
That's 2d10, 9, 17. That's plus 5. That's 23.
As you hold your
That's
hand
not even
out,
the second
these
bolt.
small elements that are still drifting around
Yeah.
you, like pull across your body into the shifting ring of different symbols, and the burst of Eldritch Blast that moves through it, it hits it, the body, because it kills it on impact,
Yeah.
flying backwards, striking the wall,
Mm-hmm.
and slumping down dead.
Yeah.
At
And
the
then I
moment-
close my fist right at the moment the second one's going to come out and be like,
Yeah,
that's
you
enough.
can almost feel it, and then and the lights just blink out of existence.
Cool.
Anything else on your turn?
No, I
Morwen.
would like to point out synaptic static effect happens without concentration. She's just muddied in the mind.
Okay,
So it's not like it's just for a minute minus d6 and
sure,
that's shit.
easy enough.
Morwen,
what do you wanna do?
I want to kill him.
Okay, I mean,
Kill who?
You know, you want to strike Heinrich? He's already pretty hurt.
No.
Dude, are you not paying attention? Because he's dead.
Oh, I take
I
all
shot it
his
right.
armor.
I shot it right by your face.
Okay,
Just like,
His
so
armor's kind of gross, isn't it?
Morwen runs by you and leans down and begins trying to like pull off the armor. As you're looking at it, I mean, it's covered in mold and stuff. Probably stuff you could get off. There is no damage to the armor itself because he died due to a pretty bad injury on his neck. Yeah, I mean, you begin the process of taking it off.
which takes like how many minutes?
It takes a little bit.
Yeah. How many
Help
rounds of
me.
combat?
That is your turn. That brings us to Tasada. So now, outside, she rushes forth, expecting to see Shay. And at this moment...
Surprise.
So we're in the quote-unquote outside now?
Yes.
Okay. Do we want to shift that map
Well,
forward and just make outside over there? Yeah.
Let me find my monkey business.
Oh, the monkey business.
Monk army.
So
And
not
I actually
hex,
don't have
but-
Era with me today. She hasn't come in the mail yet.
Ooh.
So we are going to use this for her, even though it doesn't look anything like her.
This can be Era. She's scary.
Yeah, maybe the slushy.
So we moved that outside. That's like the outside area in the
So
courtyard or
outside
whatever.
door.
I'm gonna be honest. I feel like you should adjust that for the battle cam and switch that. Have us be in the back, and then the other, just to see it better.
it's
Okay, that
Yeah,
works.
the whole thing can move. And we'll just slide it back for our turns. Not that really matters because we're just moving.
This will be Era.
Haha! With that sick kick. Sweet kicks.
And so coming out now to this large group of monks, you see Era, like, you don't actually see her because you're up inside, but Era sort of taking the stance, because none of you are really watching or seeing what's
Stuff's
going on.
happening.
Stuff is going on. That brings us to Shay. What do you want to do?
I'm going down.
Okay, give me 1 sec here. I got to resolve a few things.
Fighting with yourself over there.
Era stats also. She's gonna cast. Okay.
I feel like the music just got a little metal for her.
Yeah.
That's her lead instrument.
So Shay, are you going out through the window or down and around and out? Either way, you have enough movement. So
Down and around because I assume that Cesaro would have followed me.
okay. So
My
you
assumption. So
still have
down.
haste?
Yeah.
No problem. You burst all the way down the stairs again, and emerge out from the front. She went in the front, so you emerge right here. You can see. Okay, so things are a little different right now. You can see Era, hand outstretched, this look of intense concentration. Her eyes don't shift, but you hear her say, Shay. And you watch through the hand, you can see over pointing at Tasara. Tasara is lunging forward with these claws out, but seems unable to move. And you recognize that Era has cast Hold Person somehow on Tasara, because I am rolling shit. So at the moment, because she is held, I want to say for the next minute. 1 second here.
Yeah,
We're
hold
about
that
to wail
person.
on this.
I mean, it only takes 1 attack to lose the...
Yeah, we're still about to get one good wallop on her.
What's coup de grace? Just kidding,
Okay.
wrong game.
She is currently held for 1 minute.
Solid.
So,
She's getting hit.
all right, go ahead. Roll your attacks.
Wait for us all to get there and we can just line it up.
Dirty 20.
No.
Dirty 20, yeah. Roll damage
Hey
on that. That's
everyone,
pretty
wait! Come here.
9.
Okay.
We all just hit her side.
9 points of damage. Roll again, and these attacks are at advantage because she's
Oh,
paralyzed.
can't advantage a fucking
First
crit.
one.
Oh,
No,
nice.
this is a crit.
Yeah, roll damage on that.
This was the wallop
8.
we wanted.
8. Okay. That's the one thing. Monks, the criticals aren't as juicy, but all the regular attacks are.
24.
They're
For
average.
hits. Roll damage on that one.
Much nicer.
9.
9. Okay.
And then I'm doing Fury of Blows. So there's another 2.
Nice.
23.
3. That hits.
8.
I love it. I love it.
That's pretty much
It's
okay.
another natural 20.
Oh, roll that attack.
Oh my god,
Holy
really?
Fuck.
Jesus. Yay, Shay. I should die more, jeez.
10.
10 damage or 10 to hit? 10 damage.
10.
No, we're running out of
Okay.
diamonds over there.
So,
No, I'll just get
all of a sudden, As you emerge, you can see Era says, Shay, and you take that moment, that simple command to surge forwards. 4 quick strikes in rapid succession. You feel it's almost as if you're hitting miss, but there's more of a give to it. And again, familiar because you've done this to her before, you unload. You can feel it just each hit successively. You can see more and more she's becoming incorporeal. This smoke and this darkness just seeming to almost dissipate with each hit. She is hurt. However, she does get to make a wisdom saving throw and fails the fuck out of it. So who cares? That is your turn. Okay. She's looking real hurt. You can see through her, you can see this expression of concentration from Era as she continues the hold person spell. That brings us to Guntir. What do you want to do?
It's gonna take him a whole day to get out there.
Just jump out a window.
Just jump out. It's
Yeah.
3 stories up. You're
I bet he's not even rushing too. He's probably just, oh, what's all the noise?
Well, I'm just waiting to have a hero's reception when I get downstairs because I cast the fire, I saved the day.
Heinrich, what do you want to do?
All right. Start of my turn.
More when you're on deck.
Assuming, having Shay burst out and now hearing a commotion outside, I'm assuming. Continuing that welling up of power and feeling of reinforcement. I'm going to use the last 5d6 bonus action to do Healing Light again.
Okay.
Sort of like there's just this aura that won't leave
It's just
me.
constantly
It's
pumping
consistent,
healing
yeah.
into you, sure.
God damn it, help me take this goddamn armor off. I want it.
Okay, so that's another 12.
Nice. Yeah, so these little symbols, again, beginning to express themselves and seeming to almost reabsorb into your body. And you are feeling strong again.
Yeah.
Coming back from the brink of death, being shouted into existence by Guntir.
Of all
This
people.
rage and this seemingly almost like divine fury is swelling through you.
And I'm going to, because it's still tied around my hand and I haven't used it yet ever, I'm going to turn and start walking outside as I activate the Pearl of Power, just to regain a spell slot.
Absolutely, yeah.
Woo! Finally, fuck. So
As
I
your
regain
hand closes around this Pearl of Power, I mean, you're physically feeling better, but all of a sudden there's this surge of emotion as you recover a spell slot.
Yay.
Yeah.
And then I just use the rest of my 30 feet to start heading toward. Oh, wait. It's force damage if you fall, right?
Correct.
Jumping out the
I'm
window.
putting this out for a reason.
I think I'm going to just, turn out the window and it's 2 floors up, which is 20 feet, right? Roughly?
24 feet technically, but yeah, it's 20 feet of damage.
Okay, I'm
Nah,
watching.
it's not worth it. I'm not
I
going
was
to do
gonna
it.
say, because if you jump out the window, I'm gonna be real shook.
I'm not
at the
gonna do
gag
it, I'm
and
not
be
gonna
like, what
So,
the
yeah.
fuck?
You gotta place yourself.
Yeah, I'm going to...
That would be so
You're gonna
dark
give
from-
me a
from
heart
Morwen's
attack.
perspective. Yeah.
All right, I'm right at the end of the hallway.
Okay.
From where I was.
So you get to the stairs.
And I'm starting the run as I get there. Now I'm going to be full.
Make a
I want it.
make a sleight of hand check, or you know what? This would be like a sleight of hand.
Goody. All right, that is an 18.
Your fingers fly over this armor. You immediately have the chest piece off.
what I
and
came for.
This black leather with it. So now that you have it up close, it's silver thread that has been woven into it to make the outline of a unicorn's profile. The horn sticking out to the left, and it's covered in guck, and there are little maggots that fall away from it. You could probably clean it.
All right, now I'm gonna
I
use
just love adding to Morwen's lore.
dash
Love this
and
bird guy. Really good at getting people undressed.
feline agility.
Okay, so as fast as you can move. How much movement does it give you?
Let's see. Dash is double your speed, and so is feline agility. So that's 90 feet.
That corner of the building's gonna
It
collapse
should be
at some
120
point, right?
because if you're doubling a double,
Yeah,
It's like
that's
on
true.
it's
fire.
120.
I just don't know. Oh, does it double on top of each other like that? Does it stack up like that?
Yep.
Oh.
So you get right to the bottom. So Guntir, as you continue to shuffle down the stairs, all of a sudden there's this burst, and you see Morwen disappear around the hallway.
And I'm just, I some maggots splash him in the face.
Yeah, she's carrying this gross armor, and things are drifting off of it.
Oh, gross.
But yeah, so you fucking fly.
Oh no! I have to take that. Can I take that back?
Nope.
Whoa, what?
Shit! My
forgot
fucking
your sword.
sword.
Yep.
Yep.
I need to go back and get that.
It's burning.
On Tasara's
It's on
turn,
the
she cannot
outside.
break
It's
free
right
from
here.
this hold person because she can't roll very well. So Shay, what do you want to do?
Well on her.
Wailing on her.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Give out another
She's
good
looking
wallop.
hurt too, and for the first time, there isn't this like almost like she doesn't feel like she's in control. There is in these already dead eyes like a true sense of fear.
27.
As if
to
she dies a second time, she's gone for good.
7.
7, okay.
Fail Azra, you're no more at all.
24 to hit.
Tasara. That hits. Roll damage.
8 damage.
Okay.
If Tasara fails, or if anyone in
Another
Azra's
24 to
service
hit.
You
fails.
don't need to hit again.
Dunzo.
Tell us how it happens.
Yay!
Did you just kill a god?
No, this is not a god.
Demigod.
It's like an old priestess.
One of those gonna like swing leg up. Just like down into
So you
her head.
pull the leg all the way up, and in this moment, this is like as you were like peeking out the window before you started moving around. You
I should
axe
just
kick
smite.
her right in the back of the spine. You feel there's this brief moment of pressure as it kind of gives, but then the whole thing just gives away, and you strike right down into the snow. Your heel digging deep, and you can feel underneath this kind of wriggling large shape before that too puffs, and there is just nothing. And in this moment, you can see in the snow, underneath where the body would be, this symbol, if you would like to describe it.
Yeah, it's I'll just fucking doodle it for you.
Yeah, there you go.
It's not the T-shirt, don't worry.
Just a quick drawing of the t-shirt.
It's a t-shirt. It's prepped.
It's this, but
Buy that on our store.
Yeah. And so there is this curious symbol, not Zinyi. Although
not
really,
really any language.
really strangely,
Turn my
there are elements of it that do call back that very old Zinyi that you had seen. Not the same language, but maybe to a similar time period. That being said, because Tasada is dead, I'm gonna pull you guys out of initiative.
Yay!
Well, I don't know that, so I'm running. I'm turning around and running all the way back up for my sword as fast as I can,
Okay.
and running back out. And then once I get outside, I'm gonna be like,
You're fucking lapping both Guntir and I as
What
we're just
I
like
missed.
plotting our.
Just like,
I just died and did something badass, but I still can't move quickly, so it's not that great.
by the time I get down, you've already gone like laps around me.
It's okay. I'm dropping haste, and for the next little bit, I can't move, so it's fine.
And so as things have now calmed down a little bit, you can see Shay like surging with adrenaline all of a sudden begin to shake a little bit, and this very, very unsturdy Shay, as you guys all arrive down into the snow, you can see Era, a little sleepy looking, her hand still outstretched, not having dropped it yet. You can see there are 3 other monks that you guys have not met. Although Guntir, you actually do recognize one of them. One of them is
Creepy Jerry.
a younger looking. No, it's this younger looking fellow who you had originally asked for directions from.
Yeah.
But you see the 3 of
The
them.
naivest one in
Yes.
the monastery.
The younger, not quite full monk yet. He's the gentleman without a shirt. He's still not quite dressed. But you, you now are all in the sort of courtyard in front of the Frostmare. The fire itself, not raging, not dead all the way, but there are embers still clinging to the roof. The cold of this place has actually done a fair amount of work for you guys in terms
Against
of
it.
quelling the flames.
I'm gonna shout down with thaumaturgy, is everyone okay? And also with thaumaturgy, increase the flame a bit.
What's the range on thaumaturgy?
It's pretty far. It's
pretty
Yeah.
Is it like
60?
120 feet?
No, I think
30
it's like,
feet?
30 feet?
It's not that far. Never
Is it
mind.
30 feet from...
The roof is
Has
not,
the-
unfortunately.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
because
it's-
it slopes up.
Thank
And, yeah. Nice try. I like
Thank the
idea.
gods.
But your amplified voice echoes across, and you can see now there are other people kind of emerging from doorways, not monks, but trying to see what's going on. Era doesn't turn to you, but you hear this voice, quiet, but very powerful. Guntir,
What?
come down, please.
I'm coming!
Echoes.
I'm
still.
coming!
It's like fading into the house and just echoing more from there, kind of amplified through the hole in the roof. But eventually you all find your way down. Era, looking to all of you,
No need to thank me.
Heinrich,
Yes.
I sense, and her hand now kind of comes down to her side. This has to do with you.
He just-
Yeah. It does. Although how it was here before me, or if it was here before me, I have no idea.
The nature of this is very disturbing. We will look into it.
Do you recognize that symbol?
Turns down, for the first time noticing it. Sort of traces it with her finger. It isn't a language that I understand. It's old. But whatever this is, we will try to find the truth. Shay. And for the first time, almost a little bit at a loss for words, you did well.
Faintest smile.
I think we should leave as soon as possible if...
Did I get my true butts?
Yes, you got your sword back. You pulled it out of the wood.
It's
no
from
problem.
Handsome Husk.
This
Need to
is...
keep it.
Yeah. This is clearly not my doing, but because of me. And if I stay here, I fear it would happen again or something else would happen. Although it doesn't... And I'm just kind of like trying to find a way to distract it. How about the creature, the one that made the deals? Did you find anything else about that?
Nothing as of yet.
To maybe
you-
unrelated to this?
Do you think they are?
I have no idea. I didn't sense any familiarity in her, even when we shook hands. Did I? I didn't.
No.
Right? No, yeah. So it wouldn't be related to that whatsoever, as far as I could tell. She seemed flesh and blood, not made of rot.
It seems, careful of your head there, that trouble follows you.
Yes, that is a 100% accurate statement.
Knowing this, I agree with what you had said before. You should spend the night. You all seem more than ever to need rest, especially you.
I'm fine.
I think I died.
No, you're fine.
No, but back...
Knock it off.
Basically
catch some
rest,
Z's.
yes, is necessary.
I'm fine, but I'll catch some Z's. I didn't take any damage that whole
Yeah,
time.
because I got in the fucking way for you.
Gunter,
Ah.
Took your diamonds about
I
it.
did find somebody who may be able to help you.
Uh-huh.
I'm returning to my quarters, but follow me, and we will stop by their house and see if perhaps they can help.
I'm gonna... No tricks.
Make an insight check. Okay. There are no tricks. She seems pretty forthright in what she's saying. You know what?
And then I cast Enemies Abound on Guntir. Oh, let me cut his mic so no one else can hear it. I was cheating.
Well, no, I mean, they can hear
I
it.
can hear it.
I guess that's true.
It's just us.
Well, I can hear it too.
Yeah.
That's
Take your
fine.
headphones off.
I actually didn't hear it.
Okay.
And as she turns to leave, she looks around for one last second.
Come on, Morwen.
Okay.
She may accompany. Before you set off, whatever it is that you decide to do, please let me know first.
Well,
I
thought
think
we were
you
gonna
gotta
take
talk
the
to that
Falcon.
innkeeper. He said it was bed bugs. Those were no bed bugs. Gotta
Yeah,
go see what's up with
Xenifer is
them.
a bad egg. You should exile him. Burn down the whole place.
I'm not saying that. I just think he
Rotten
needs
to
a
the
talking
core.
to by someone.
She
The whole
turns
place is rotten.
and looks at one of the other monks, human, not terribly dissimilar to you in terms of like the hairstyle, much taller, a little bit more muscular, but she kind of nods to Era and she walks into the tavern, or into the inn, sorry. For all of you, tomorrow, before you leave, I do have words.
Yeah.
Come. And she begins to move.
Oh, now that we're outside, I also put on my snowsuit.
Okay, you kind of, it's
Both of
cold, and so
them.
you like kind of shrug the first one on.
I want to take the armor though and like shake off all the maggots, and I'm gonna shove it in my bag.
You imagine it might take a little. There's no like living maggots on it, but there is still this crust of fungus, and
gonna take
you know
repairing.
it's going to take a little bit of work.
Morwen,
I'm just like dragging in the snow
Yeah.
like it's like a teddy bear.
Okay.
I'll clean it for you tonight as you sleep. I'll just
Okay, but I got it. It's
yeah.
mine.
That's
Just
That's
give
fine.
him the gross.
you shouldn't
Give
have to
it
deal
to
with
him.
it. It's my fault anyway.
Gunter,
What?
But it's my prize.
we have a place
Fine.
to go.
Yeah, come on, Morwen. We have a place to go.
Don't scratch it.
So the two of you
Don't
dragging
scratch
the
it.
leather. Or no, you give the leather to Heinrich.
Mm-hmm.
Two of you go off with Era. Heinrich and Shay, what are you guys doing?
Glad to see you're back, Heinrich.
I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit tired.
Absolutely. Where should we get you to?
I'm going home.
By yourself?
You're welcome to come if you wish.
Oh,
Sure.
I'm gonna thaumaturgy. Oh, Heinrich, check out the thread shop. Find that demon girl I made the contract with.
Okay. As
Well,
you
now she's
thaumaturgy
gone.
this, you can see there's a lot of people like peeking through thresholds and looking through windows, and there's a lot of sour faces looking at you, having just professed a demonic contract in the middle of town. But you continue with Era. She doesn't respond necessarily.
I think I'm gonna hang back and tidy up and see if Xanifer's okay, and then I'm not
scratch
staying
my armor.
here tonight. But where should I find your?
I'll help you and we can go.
Okay,
Okay.
It'll go faster that way.
So
fair enough.
the two of you go back into this tavern.
Yeah,
It's
and just, like,
smoky smelling now.
I'm like
although-
gonna just like destroy the sigil now that they've taken care of it, right?
Okay.
Have they like seen it and now they know it?
Yes.
Okay,
You would imagine. I mean,
I don't have to
hard
worry.
tell.
I can like draw it for them later.
Era
if they
also
need
seems
it.
pretty clever.
Yeah, I'm
so
not
she
like
probably
I'm not fucking
remembers.
worried. She saw it once. She's fine. So I'm
But
gonna.
as you kick the snow away, the sigil itself is burned further, and moving almost like 6 inches of snow aside, you can see it is burned into the earth itself. This frozen, cragged earth. It's actually burned into. But taking a little bit of time, you can stamp that as well.
Even easier. I cast Sacred Flame on it
Okay.
to like cleanse it.
Sure. You cast Sacred Flame, these glowing sigils spawning at your fingertips. And this bolt leaps out, or not bolt, actually, it just emerges on the actual
It's
spot.
like Bonfire but Radiant.
And you can see it scars and disfigures the mark in a way that it's hard to recognize.
Yeah. And then I turn and walk in.
Okay. As the two of you walk in.
Symbol. What is it?
It's the mark of the Portent. It's hers. Azra's. You read of her. You've seen her work many times. She's the one who I shed back at the far shore, Sunrise Isles. And curiously enough, was the same mark that was inside of Tasada's temple that we first slew her. If you remember that room with the 2 vats and the dude with the chain, and how I forgot that I had water walking boots and almost drowned. Yeah, if we ever see that, you can assume it's not good. If it's ever marked anywhere, it's not safe, etc., etc. If anyone bears that mark, don't go near them.
And your feet sort of hit the wood as you cross into the threshold. Now within the space that you've lit the fire, it is warmer. There is this distinct smell of burnt wood.
Yeah.
But more of that kind of like the doused flame smell. It's this bitter kind of thing. You would imagine upstairs, the fire not raging.
Yeah. I'm gonna
probably
go up there with
dying
the
out.
decanter and be like,
Okay.
"Can you tend to Xanifer? I'm gonna go up and just like run up and fireman douse the
Okay.
whole
Sure.
place."
Without too much trouble, give it a couple repeated uses.
Yeah.
You manage to put the fire out, and it's this terrible smell
Yeah.
of decaying flesh
Yeah.
and like loose kind of moldy earth. and burned wood.
And a lot of that stuff is still there even after Tasada's gone.
Yeah.
Okay. Might spend some time sacred flaming it all away if possible. I want to try to like eradicate any.
You find.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to like sanctify the place that castings, whatever. You know what I mean?
So I mean, you cast Sacred Flame again and again, like burning away portions of this stuff.
Yeah.
You would imagine that this is an all-night job if you really want to truly scour the place.
At that moment of realization, I'll go back downstairs and say like I might I'll work on this all night, I guess, while maybe cleaning the armor and casting Sacred Flame.
It's like one scrub, flame.
Yeah,
Flame.
yeah. I'll figure something out in the meantime, but for now,
It's like
I'll
a
be
real-life macro.
Be like, oh, this is such a fucking mess.
Sure.
She is such a fucking mess. Can't believe her. I told her. No. And then I go, I'm muttering to myself, and I go back downstairs and rejoin them.
Okay. While this is happening, you enter into the room that is occupied by Xanifer, now back in the chair. And you see the monk at this moment is sort of dabbing her finger into this, what looks like an ointment, and just smears it very Rafiki-like just on his head. And almost as that happens, you can see the sweaty, sort of feverish look almost immediately begin to subside.
All of your work undone.
And you can see Xanifer now,
The damage is done.
again, looking around.
You're definitely not mending that.
Shay,
Xanifer, wasn't it?
yes, I think I've seen you once or twice around here. What is, and he turns looking to the monk and back and forth, what is going on?
Your, I believe, bed bug problem, you called it?
Yeah.
It's been taken care of.
Oh. Well, good.
I suspect that your third floor is not going to be habitable for a little while still, though.
When you say take care, what do you mean?
I mean, it's been squashed.
Under your heels.
Did you also have to like heat up your room to get rid of
You
bed bugs?
flattened.
We just lit it on fire.
My third floor.
We flattened the bugs.
I love watching Shay try
Begins
to
to
lie.
stand up and just kind of pushes past you. He
And at
emerges
this point-
into the lower bar, you coming down the stairs,
Yeah.
and he looks out this entire beautiful mosaic, like pieces of glass and mirror, beautiful beadwork, and everything that has made up this gorgeous scene is just shattered and broken in pieces on the ground. His windows all exploded out, cold air gusting in. He smells this putrid, it's burning flesh and wood. Drifting down. You come down, you're just kind of like, hi.
No. I come down. I'm like,
And you can see he's just this expression of disbelief.
it
And
was
he
a
looks
much
around.
bigger problem than you thought.
What? This. All right, Xanifer. This. What happened? I had a fever, and I saw things and shapes, hallucinations, maybe. But this, am I still hallucinating? This isn't real. This can't be. You know what? I'm gonna
Exactly.
go back to
I was
bed.
going to say, you still need rest, even if you feel better. Whatever illness
Did
took
we have
you
like
may
a
come back.
romantic moment
No.
or something like that?
What are you talking about?
I
No.
just remember
If-
very vaguely.
if anything-
but I remember that
They
you know what?
don't call me Heinrich the Platonic for nothing.
Oh my god.
Make a deception check.
Why don't we get you back in bed? That sounds like
Deception?
a good idea.
Oh, perfect. That is a 27. That's my highest fucking trait for
I
some
didn't
reason.
know that you had a title. My apologies. Please give me your forgiveness. Heinrich the Platonic.
It's one of them. That's fine. Don't worry. Please, just go get some rest. I insist.
Still hallucinating. We should get you in bed.
All right. Well, thank you. And as you're kind of like shuffling him back to bed, and he's getting under the covers, you can hear him. He yawns, and you can hear just. Do you and your friends presumably have a name? As long as you all have titles, something to call you all.
Yeah, make Shay say
I'm
it.
letting you feel this one.
Can't recall.
Aww.
Please make sure that some of the mystics check you out too.
Of course.
If you're also coming down with this illness.
Virus.
Of course. They're on top of it.
And he kind of is already beginning to fall asleep. And you just hear him murmur, Heinrich, Hippotani. And he just falls asleep. Meanwhile, Morwen and Guntir,
We have to clean this place up.
the two of you follow Era through the streets, darkened, although fairly busy for the time of night.
Can I ask your questions while we're
Yeah,
walking?
go ahead.
Have you seen many Obsidian's haste people come through? And if so, is it recent?
She turns and kind of narrows her eyes. I'm sorry, I don't know what kind of people these are.
The unicorn is their sigil? That's the right word, right?
There are unicorns nearby occasionally. I haven't seen one in a long time.
What? Really?
Now I'm not gonna get any sleep.
I'm now gonna
Yeah,
go
okay.
up next to her and
Waddle up next.
more.
So, crunch, crunch, crunch of snow.
I've always wanted to see one.
Yes, in the frost line. It is so closely connected to the Feywild that many of its creatures appear.
Are they as beautiful as they say they are?
They are beautiful creatures.
Have you touched one?
No, I wouldn't. They are intelligent and they are quite powerful.
I'm gonna touch one.
That doesn't surprise me. She turns just to make sure that Gunter's still there because he's been quiet for a second.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
Like drifting off.
Gunter, you
Scheming.
find yourself in a place that you've been before, and as you feel this kind of sense of not dread, but definitely uncertainty, as in front of you come to this red door, beautiful gold knob, and it encased in this black wall. You find yourself outside of the black halls. Aaron knocks twice, and the door suddenly swings open. And in front of you, you see this hunchbacked sort of man, very skinny, bad skin, just this gross, greasy hair. And as he
Cortega!
sees you, you can see he just kind of tries to straighten it up, but it again, just kind of the stiffness of it shifts it back quickly. Era, and you, friend, did you ever find yours? And Era actually places a hand on your shoulder, sensing this kind of fear. Do you want to fail a wisdom saving throw?
No.
Okay, make wisdom saving throw. It's a DC 18.
Yeah, I feel that.
You feel calmness spread across you as she casts calm emotions, and you feel a little bit more sure of yourself.
I didn't dislike the guy. He was just weird.
Yeah.
He's a weird guy.
Era looks to him. Excuse me. I know the hour is late. Could you do the thing that we discussed? And
What you guys
suddenly
discussed?
his eyes light up. You see him just go, on him?
What on me?
Yes, on him.
What's
Delightful.
so delightful?
I don't even need your blood this time. And you can see now this very disapproving face on Era.
That's good.
And Era says, you were experimenting again. And he says, yes, but this time it didn't work, so don't worry.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Is here an appropriate place? And you can see she looks at him and says, I can do the work that will be required if you will just cast. And he looks at you and casts, I gotta look up the spell real quick.
Hey, what's going on, Mr. Morwen? You know what's going on here?
No, this is interesting.
I'm feeling pretty calm about the whole thing, but
Seems fine.
Everything's fine.
it's kind of weird because I feel like I should be a little more nervous about this guy.
Well, a lot of people feel the same way about you.
That's me.
I know, so that's what I'm saying. This is
As
fine.
this creepy, hunched back man places this hand, and as the hand comes close to you, you can see the nails are like long and unkempt. Places a hand on you, and Gunter dies. She casts Feign Death on you.
Oh, I could have done that to myself.
Or he casts Feign Death on you. The spell's duration.
I couldn't
You appear
react.
dead to
I
all
don't
outward
know.
inspection.
Oh, I have it. I
And
know
a
what
spell
it does.
used to determine your status
That's one
won't be able to do it. You are blinded and incapacitated. Your speed is 0. You have resistance to all damage except for psychic damage.
Aha.
If you are
Dreams.
diseased or poisoned when the spell is cast, you become diseased or poisoned while under the spell's effect. Disease and poison have no effect until the spell ends. Guntir, to all intents and purposes, to you, drops dead. His skin.
That's 2
suddenly-
people
wait,
in one
actually.
day.
Oh.
That's 2 people in one day.
It looks as if Guntir has just died.
I feel pretty good.
Wait, are we inside? Because I can throw echo on
Outside.
that.
That echoes through
man.
this beautiful, serene
Wait,
court of
can you do
mystics.
that again? Let me just throw some-
I
echoes
don't know
through
if I
dark
can.
halls.
You really
it.
want me to try?
Do it. All right, there's a little bit of
Echoes
echo on
into the
that.
dark hall. And Era's hand goes on you. Do you willingly fail a wisdom saving throw?
No.
Okay, make a wisdom saving throw.
We don't accept
15.
Suddenly,
14. Well, it doesn't matter. I fail it.
This unreal sense of calm just spreads across your body as she lays a hand on your
Oh.
shoulder. He is okay. I know how he appears, but that is what we want.
He's old.
Not
He can't
especially.
handle a lot.
How old is? Or how?
287.
I was that age once.
Oh, how old are you?
It is not a polite question to ask,
Sorry.
but well over 400.
Whoa. You look great.
There comes a time, once you've reached an understanding of what it is that causes you to age, where such a thing ceases to matter as much. She bends down and very easily picks up Guntir, kind of cradling him like a baby. Where is it that you are staying tonight?
Well, we were staying at that inn before, but I don't really want to stay there anymore. So,
I would recommend that.
if you have any
We have an empty room.
suggestions,
Follow me.
okay.
And she leads you to in the center of this court. And Guntir is like his head dangling. You can see his eyes still open, both heading in different directions.
His health bar is at 0.
Yeah.
So the eyes have gone into the sides of his skull.
Isn't that so you can tell how much
Yeah.
health he has?
Just the tiny flicker of the pupil, like just the edge of it come back every now and again.
Yeah, at every step it just kind of drifts out and comes back.
Ew.
She's just
the
rolling
eyes.
in her arms, but she goes to the central building, this 3-tiered structure with this walkways on each tier getting smaller as they rise. And she goes to almost like the corner of the bottom floor, taps a knob, and you hear this distinct, and the whole, the door just swings open. Fairly sparse. It's just one sort of standard sized bed, very, very utilitarian in nature. There is a simple drawer, like in the circle. There are a couple of cushions on the circle. On the floor, there's a circle of cushions, but otherwise, it is a fairly empty room. Probably about 15 feet deep, about 10 feet wide. Fairly small.
Is the bed pushed up against the wall?
It is in the corner.
I take all the cushions and I make like a barrier of pillows.
Okay.
And I get in that corner.
And Era watches you do this, still holding Guntir, and just sort of.
And then once I'm all settled, I go and drop them right here.
She takes a couple steps forward and drops him. He just sort of lands, almost slides off, and she kind of knees him to catch him, and kind of edges him back onto the thing.
And I'll
You
take
don't
his
feel
clothes
that
and
you are
like try to
resistant
pull him
damage.
over.
Okay, and yeah, so between the two of you, you roll him onto the bed. He goes over his arm, like flapping down. He looks dead. You're kind of like getting close. He doesn't feel especially warm to the touch. You don't feel a heartbeat. There's no breath.
The most uncomfortable cuddle you'll ever have in your life.
Era looks at him and looks up at you. We'll talk tomorrow.
You sure he's not dead?
She looks at him a little bit. Well, Berardi is a little bit unpredictable, but if he did what he said he would do, and nothing further, then yes, he will be fine. We'll bring him back tomorrow.
Okay.
Eightfold of the path. And she bows slightly to you and turns and leaves. shuts the door behind, and you are left in a dark room in a bed with,
With a dead body.
dead body.
Of a friend.
I take one of my coats off and I put it on top of him, and then
Maybe close his eyes?
I am
Sounds
going to
like-
close his eyes and just be like, "Good night."
One of them just kind of back open, but yeah, you eventually get his eyes closed, cover him with the
Crusty.
jacket.
It's so
Ew.
crusty.
And I kind of try to like pinch him to keep him closed.
He's got
Okay,
so
you
many
like
eye
hold
boogers.
him shut for a little bit, and you
Allie,
let go.
he has
and,
so
and
many eye boogers.
Those boogers have kind of glued his eyes shut.
It's
so you,
disgusting.
his eyes are closed.
One of them kind of goes like,
I stick my finger under his nose to see if he's breathing.
Nothing. And his body like weirdly stiff.
I go through his stuff.
Make an investigation check.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Aww. It's only a 6.
With a 6, what does Morwen find?
I think you would find
What's the most obvious shit?
a couple hooks,
Ew.
some funky mushrooms that are kind of like crusty now and old.
Gross.
They've been in there for a while.
That's saying something too for Guntir.
A little bit of the zingy tobacco that I had, my pipe.
It's probably enough for a 6, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
Like dried flowers.
And as you're doing that, I mean, you're going through a dead friend's belongings. A part of it kind of
They
creeps.
said they're not.
Huh?
They said he's
That's
not dead.
fair. But part of it's still kind of creepy, and so you don't look quite as thoroughly as you might. But are you going to sleep?
Yep.
Okay. Easily enough, I guess. You curl up next to your dead friend and find a long rest. Eventually. Guntir, you can also mark off a long rest.
Hey! A long
Two of you.
death.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing? You guys going back to Shays or?
Is it safe to assume we could clean this up in the morning? You need rest.
I can put in a word with Gamble in the morning. The monks will clean it up.
Okay, that would be wise.
It's
Don't want to
faster
leave
that
any
way.
more bad trails behind us.
It's faster that way.
Yeah. Okay. But there was another monk here who like did the smear thing on the dude's forehead. On Zennifer's
Yes.
forehead.
Yes,
Is-
yes.
Is she still here? She's
yeah.
still here?
Yeah.
Could you maybe ask your friend, or do they not associate with Gamble as well as you?
I don't know. They do.
Okay, maybe just have them pass the word on so you can get it started sooner than. I just would hate to have someone wake up and their house be destroyed.
You turn, and it is one of the very few monks still left of the martial tradition here. You don't recognize her necessarily, but based on her build and just sort of the way that she carries herself, this is a student of Crick. But what do you say to her?
Do you mind taking a message to Master Gamble
What would you like me to relay?
that tomorrow assistance will be required in rebuilding the inn?
It
Or
will be done.
repairing.
Eightfold of the path. She bows deeply to you and turns and leaves.
All right, I guess that's kind of it. Let's on we go.
And I will lead you to my house.
Okay. You go and you return to Shay's house. What are you spending the night doing?
I'm gonna start cleaning the armor, and then I'm gonna get totally distracted and pull out the book and kind of meditate on that, and really just with all the shit that happened and all like the new things that I was doing and like the close call with being reclaimed, I suppose.
Sure.
Send out like a, well, if you chose me, like at least like throw me a line here, kind of, but a little more polite than that. Kind of, you know.
So as you meditate on this book, this celestial book full of beautiful writing that you can read, you reach out and you don't sense a presence necessarily, but over time, yeah, you don't really sense much.
Are there any like patterns or not instructions necessarily, but like oaths or allegiance equivalent type of writings. Like, what exactly is in the book? You know, like, what are the words sort of
So
saying?
a lot of what you're seeing as you meditate
Is it like
on,
historical, like someone's account, or is it more...
it changes.
Mhm.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily have a consistent voice.
Okay.
There are times where you've looked through it and you found answers to things that you've been thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
This is not one of those times.
Hmm.
You see similar writings, things that you've read before.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to pull out one of the other journals, just the regular ones,
Yep.
and just start recounting things that I'm grateful for
Okay.
and listing all of the...
Pros to living, cons to living.
No, just more like meditating on like the positivity that others have brought me and trying to reflect on that outwardly, thinking of the things that I have done for other people. Just trying to like doing that almost as like a ritualistic way to like separate myself from all of the bad things that I did for
Okay.
Azra, pretty
Absolutely.
much.
Okay. You spend some time doing this, and you, in your list of gratitude, it's one of those things that is really interesting, because as you reflect on it, you realize asking for this line, in a very real way, you've already been thrown one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not what I was going for.
But
Shay, you doing anything before you go to sleep?
Kind of a like quick like half gesture, like this is the place. I know you don't sleep, but
Have fun.
Very utilitarian.
right at
here in a
the...
while, make sure that home.
It is, and this is like prior to me doing that all night kind of thing. I'd just be like,
Here's
It
the
is-
bathroom,
it
the
is
kitchen, the
fine.
bedroom. It's all one room.
It's-
I'll be
This
in that
is-
corner.
I would expect no more, and I mean that in as a compliment. You don't seem as one who would need excess, and this seems perfectly fitting.
I didn't spend a lot of time here, even when I did live here all the time. So, here's what it is. There's a bunch of wood outside if you need it for
Okay.
fire.
Sure, and I'll start a fire before doing all that stuff.
Okay.
And I would also like to actually clean the armor for Morwen
Sure.
after all that too, since
Takes a couple
fucking 8
hours, but it's
yeah.
fairly light
I got
work.
8 of
and,
them.
over the course of this time, all of you, if you have not done so already, can mark off a long rest.
I need that.
I will tell you now, given the experience you'll be getting from that battle,
Uh-huh.
all of you will level up to level 10.
Holy shit!
And that is where we're going
Good
to take our
damn.
break. A real late break.
Yeah.
Late and
it
light
is-
break.
Yeah, it's already 11.
I mean,
so
shit happens.
Yeah.
Of course.
A lot of shit.
we're going to
She's
take
like, you die. We're gonna go on a break real quick.
a super quick 15-minute break. We'll be back at 11:17.
All right.
See you then.
Bye.
Howdy, folks. Welcome back to Adventures in Alberon. Oh man, sorry for the late break, but it was quite a thing happening. For those of you just tuning in, yeah.
Yep. Singular.
For those of you just tuning in, Heinrich's past finally catching up to him, the portent and all that it brings.
I fucking died.
Arriving back in Squall's End on the 3rd floor of the Frostmare Inn, Heinrich died in the combat. Just straight died. But luckily, because Guntir goes through Heinrich's stuff on the regular, Guntir was able to locate the diamonds that Heinrich carries and cast Revivify, bringing him back from death, from the darkness and the beating drums, and back into a burning room full of rotting things. You all emerge outside. You were able to actually redefeat Tasada, Queen of the Mists, a character from session 16 or 17.
It's like last April.
It was
Or
something
May?
like that. It's right when we began the stream because,
okay, yeah.
and I only know that because one of the people who follows us and like interacts fairly regularly started watching all of the old episodes on YouTube to watch them all the way through.
Talon?
And not Talon, because
No,
Talon's
Talon's been with
Talon's
us
seen
the
them
whole
all.
time.
Talon saw them all live.
He's live.
Speaking of which, Talon, send me your address again because I lost it and we have something to send you. But
It's not my body, don't worry.
oh no,
It's one of his antlers.
Maybe it is.
It's a snowball.
it's not.
Official finger gang
What?
finger, yay!
Okay, let's
It is an
go.
official Finger Gang T-shirt.
Yeah.
So,
Just
So-
as cool as this sweater.
yeah. Although that is the limited edition artist one, which is going to go away in April. But
I literally wear it every day.
He does.
it's a sick. It's a
his
sick.
so
favorite sweater.
soft.
I know, right?
So
So,
soft.
one of the greatest things about
It is a good quality.
Design by Humans, we'll take a second to plug them.
Yeah,
The people who run our store, really, really high quality stuff. Talon, you have our
it's a
first
nice
shirt that we ever made, the original Adventures in Alberon shirts that aren't being made ever again. Those ones, not quite as high quality. This, way better. So,
That one makes a better patch
yes. Yes.
eventually, or like a good
Enamel pen.
sleeping in it every night for like a
One day.
year.
I still have no
and
idea
then
where
it
they are.
becomes
They're somewhere in like
comfortable.
China, so probably never getting to
Yeah.
us.
Wash it like 50 times.
Yeah, I know. Anyways, so where we begin in the morning, it is now changed days over, so it is no longer the 23rd of Deep Winter, but is in fact the 24th.
Is it anyone's birthday? Is it anyone's birthday?
Nobody's birthday.
Damn it.
Give me a. How long has it been since we docked?
Docked in Gulliver's Bay.
Yeah.
The last time we stepped foot on our ship. Shit, we're gonna owe these people so much fucking money.
Well, you paid for like months.
I paid for months.
You paid for months.
Yeah, but the crew.
Gunter
We have to
also
pay the
paid,
crew.
and
Oh
a
no,
lot
but
of them
Sade's been
died,
taking care of a lot of it.
It's been
Alright.
9 days.
It'll
Yeah,
be
we're
fine.
fucking good, dude.
God. I just feel bad for them, just like sitting on this fucking boat, like.
Feel bad for us.
Actually, they're probably partying. Who
Yeah, dude.
cares?
They're in like a weird.
They're in like the Sly Flourish, maybe. They
They're
probably
like in
Big
the
Sue.
Fifi. They're in a Fifi place, and they're all.
Yeah, they get to hang out
slide-
with Big Sue.
They're fine,
They're all slideways.
right?
They're cool.
We'll find out.
Yeah. So, morning comes for you very gradually as you do not sleep, but you do find that you can clean the armor that Morwen found. You take some time to meditate on the book. You think a little bit about all the things that have happened. It's been a
Yeah.
long day for you.
Yeah.
Gunter, you find actual sleep, although we're going to get back to you because you're dead still, technically. Not actually, for those of you tuning in.
Wow,
Actually,
Gunter's
not
really dead.
technically, not
He's
technically,
dead,
but
not
he's dead.
Gunter is currently the subject of the spell Feign Death in order to get around the sleeplessness that has taken you over.
And I'm
We'll
sleeping
see if it
with
works,
him,
'cause
with
this
his
is an
corpse.
experiment. But
I could have done this myself.
Well,
Sherry,
now you
you-
can again.
you come to
Yes,
and
wow.
you see Heinrich still not having moved a ton from where you had left him, probably has walked around a couple of times. But you see next to him this glistening black armor.
Ooh. I've made a point to use the bathroom at some point throughout the night
Okay.
because we don't often address that.
So
It's important.
Heinrich looks like he's in a good mood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole year of a
address it
build-up
because
right there. He pissed that
mean,
whole entire
had a-
8 hours.
No, we had a session like 6
In
months
game.
ago where we talked about it.
In game, we've only been playing for 98 days. So, you know,
Not that much.
yeah.
Only lasts for an hour.
All right.
We've all got bladder infections.
Feign Death.
Oh, no, not this.
Not this one.
Good talk.
Anyways, back to it.
Mine only lasts for an hour.
This one lasts until you are touched again by this creature with the intent to break you out
I
of it.
gotta learn me some of that.
Touched by intent. A Guntir story.
Touched by an
Anyway.
alien.
Shay's waking up.
You wake
Yeah.
up and you can see Heinrich looking happy and also with this polished leather armor. Morwen, you wake up in a dark room next to a dead Guntir, still, just having not moved. His eyes still closed.
One of them popped open overnight.
Yeah, sure. The right eye is like open again and like kind of milky looking. It's hard to tell because they're always kind of milky looking. But you know this
Get away from me.
this leather jacket still over his face.
Leather jacket. It's my fur coat.
Okay, so one of your fur coats or both of your fur coats.
Well, I see that one of the eyes popped open and probably really dry. So I'm gonna close his eye and just like kind of like try to moisturize it with the lid.
Okay, as you close it, it is almost like a sandpaper texture. And as you rub, you can hear this kind of like it's not like a gushy sound.
All right, I open it up and I.
Oh, you hock a loogie in his eye?
No, I don't hawk a loogie. I just do a little spit
You
dribble.
blow raspberry. in
I
his
do
eye.
a little spit dribble.
Make a
in it.
medicine check.
That's the worst way to use a medicine check I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's wonderful.
But if it works.
It's a 15.
That's
Okay.
not bad.
Okay.
15 for spit.
You try to do
Y'all
it first,
heard
and
it-
it's kind of
heard
like
it
this
first.
It's 'cause I
weird,
care.
sticky texture. So you pry it back open, you kind of spit in a little bit, and you close it, and you do. It feels a little bit lubricated now, I guess. You spit in his eye. So we'll get back to that.
I am just cataloging all these wonderful, weird things that Morwen's got.
But first, we'll start with you guys. There is another. Almost, you hear like a tap on the door, and then you hear loudly this, and the door swings open just a little bit.
I'm dead.
That's true. You are considered blinded.
I'm in
and
my
deafened.
pajama armor,
Okay, so these little polka dots.
but I don't remember it. Oh, hello. He's
It is.
still.
It is Era, and as she steps into the space, she nods. I know. And
Oh.
behind, this face pops out, greasy hair, hunchback looming over the
You
head.
did this.
Yes, I did.
What was wrong? Stop it. Stop it. His eyes are dry. He's cold.
I know he's dead, but give me just a moment. I'll fix that. Wakey, wakey, and he comes up and just gently lays a hand across your entire face. And Guntir, suddenly you.
Again.
Era, her whole face doesn't change the whole time, and looks down at you. Guntir, did you sleep? You see Era looking down at you.
I didn't feel anything.
How do you
What?
feel now?
Pretty good. Huh?
And you see that
Little stiff.
creepy man behind her.
I'm gonna start doing my morning ritual.
Okay, feel a couple cracks in there, but that creepy guy just comes around. So the experiment worked. Did you have any dreams? Did you see anything?
No, I was came down to see you, and now I'm here.
Good morning.
How boring. And he sort of draws himself back up. Era turns back to you. Would you like to ready yourself for the day?
Oh. Okay.
The polka dots swirl back, and suddenly you're wearing the leather
It's not
armor
polka
again.
dots. It's yellow with pink,
Pink
smiley
spot.
faces.
Oh, smiley faces. Sorry. The pink
Jesus.
polka dot pattern smiley faces on this yellow armor resumes its shape. Shall we go?
I straighten out my
I'm
whiskers.
hungry.
They get a little, crunchy at night.
I'm sure that Master Gamble has something for you.
Oh yeah, let's go see Gamble.
If he isn't
Yeah.
fixing up
And,
the.
Hope he has
Yeah.
some food. I'm
We gotta
starving.
go take that flight.
Era's already out the door.
I
This
get
creepy guy is still here.
I bundle up. Who are you?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm...
This is
I asked him.
okay.
No, I'm very interested to know what you would think of me.
Wait, actually, me too now.
He's my my friend. I saw him in the hallway.
He takes one step towards you and
He
lays
helped me
this
find you guys.
crusty-looking hand on your shoulder. Are we friends?
Oh, we're friends then.
You're
I
right.
hug him.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, I kind of like grab his hand.
Oh my god! Wow.
To get off. The hand kind of finds its way circling around, and you feel as you put your hands around this large, mushy kind of lump on his back. But you
gross.
do your best to kind of hug him.
All right, let's get going.
Oh, well,
We
if you
got
ever...
stuff to do.
What's your name?
My name is Beraldi. If you ever
yeah, Beraldi.
want to come back and find something or do something,
Yeah, I'll do something.
what do you want to do?
I kind of want to eat.
We're kind of busy. We gotta go eat and get some.
What do
We're
you
going
like? Do you
flying
like
later.
bread or meat or flesh?
Well, can I only choose out of those
You can see
three
like
options?
a little bit of drool coming down the side of his mouth.
Not the last one.
Not meat? Okay, we'll find something for you. Just
bread.
a moment.
Just bread's
We
fine.
gotta get going.
Okay,
We
bye.
gotta
It's
catch
nice.
up with our
It's
friends.
nice to meet
Our
you.
other friends, 'cause
Where are
they're
you
also-
going? I can bring it to you.
I don't know.
Oh, you fucked up.
Emma's gonna be pretty upset if we don't catch up with her.
To Master Gambler.
Yeah, we gotta go to.
I'll see you there. And
Alright.
he
Bye,
scampers
friends.
out
See you there, buddy.
into the snow.
Shay, is this character part of your backstory that you wrote? All right, let's bring him along.
What?
Oh man, you're being mean to Shay. So, all of you kind of follow out and head in the direction of Master Gamble. What are you doing? What are you guys doing?
How's your eye?
I feel like I would notice you waking up, probably.
Probably.
I'd be like, oh, good morning, Shay.
Morning.
Sorry, do you need time to get ready? I can...
I'll be quick.
Okay, I'll be outside.
It's so weird that you don't sleep.
Yeah, I wasn't watching you. Don't worry. I was busy on this, and I hold up the armor.
Very nice.
Morwen thought it might be useful. Maybe. We're pretty far from the
Got a fucking unicorn on it. I want
pretty
it,
far
dude.
from the shore here, but I don't know if we need to infiltrate. Although her thing can already change shape. I don't know why she wanted it. Oh well, whatever. It is what it
It's
is.
not for me anyway.
And I just like turn and walk outside.
Okay.
I just love that I had an inner monologue about their conversation.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
So-
Sorry.
I made a
sorry,
point
guys.
to put that out there, being like, you don't need this to disguise yourself.
Yeah, I don't, but you fucking do.
I might.
What?
I might.
You
Okay.
would remember that you guys had agreed to meet at Master Gamble's today. So is that where you're headed?
Unless you have anything to do, Shay, well, should we meet with our friends? I mean, there's that still weird deal with the dealing little girl handshake thing.
Yeah.
That seems like maybe a more internal affair now. They can take care of that, possibly, as long as it doesn't come back to haunt us. We
Possibly.
have bigger things that come and haunt us, though, unfortunately. Sorry.
Come with me, and I'm going to Kronek's house.
Okay.
You guys
I
head
haven't been there.
out
so.
the door and across the street.
Not for.
I want to go
Across
to
the
Mike's
street.
house.
And you see up in the second floor, spear clung to his back, looking still hurt, but with a new sort of element of life, kind of watchful. He turns, you can see his head peer towards you. Shay. And there's this flutter, and he can't fly, but he controlled falls down to the ground, kind of stumbling a little bit. I am still getting used to that.
It will take time.
Sky Sister, good morning.
We meet well.
And who is this? He
Another-
cranes his head. And
Do
it's
I
like this-
recognize him?
You would recognize him, yeah, because I mean,
I
you
didn't
haven't
spend as
seen-
much
mean, how
time
many-
interacting.
You also
Yeah.
haven't seen any Eric Cochrans other than this one.
Ever?
I also
Probably in
gave
your
him
life.
like
Okay,
your
all right.
like secret box.
No, he didn't. Oh, I did give him. Oh, yeah, it's true. I'd be like,
So he turns.
it's true.
It has been some time.
Yes, it's been about a week. No, it's not true. It's been a
I'd
month
say
and
about a
change.
month, right?
About 48 days.
Yeah.
Not that I'm keeping track, but
No,
about
no.
48 days.
I said, yes, it has been quite a while. It is very good to see you again. Thank you for bringing you called it a reliquary, back here safely.
Yes, thank you for finding that. It had gone missing.
Yeah, sorry about the circumstances of that. And now I'm glad it's back here and sort of now with us again, oddly.
Things have found an equilibrium, as they always do.
Yeah, Yeah, and I'm glad that we're all still along for the ride along that path. Why did you... I don't mean to be rude. Why did you bring me here?
He will be joining us for the next part of our trip.
Are we going?
We're meeting at Gamble's.
Let me get my things. And he goes, and you can see the wings begin to stretch, but as the one that's damaged kind of flutters and can't open, sheepishly he kind of walks and opens the door and enters. And emerges after a couple of minutes with the bag. He has a spear. He has a cloak on, although the hood is down. He seems fairly well adjusted to these temperatures. Shall we?
Let's go.
Heinrich?
There we go.
And he begins to head off towards Gamble's.
Is this us walking? Well, I have to do this.
All of you make your way over and one after another find your way to Gamble's workshop. This sprawling structure of pulleys and strange staircases that wrap around the outside of this massive building that looks at once both ramshackle and very high-tech. It has been the subject of explosions, of strange sort of fluctuations in electricity. There are elements of damage to this building that are both strange and oftentimes very beautiful. Where lightning may have struck an area of the roof, you can see blackened bolts kind of stretching out in a very beautiful way. But inside, already sort of seeming to wait, and there's more activity here than usual. You can see there are carts being loaded with wood and various supplies, presumably to probably repair the Frostmare. You can see going by an entire box of
You
small...
wouldn't know that.
No, probably not.
I wouldn't. Wait, do I?
You wouldn't either.
Okay.
You guys had left at that point.
There is at one
wasn't
point
there
a
then.
large crate of these small glass sort of tiles, and then probably you could put together. These are supplies to repair that place.
It's Guntir. You wouldn't put that together,
Well,
right?
it's up to you. But these carts are
wouldn't
kind of
sabotage
leaving
it.
and coming.
Nicer than you would think.
Gamble is standing in the sort of larger interior space within this big structure. He smiles, and you can smell already this tobacco kind of circling him. His long pipe is sort of on his hip. It stretches almost down to the point where it would drag along the ground, but just above. And he smiles at all of you, especially you. Oh, all of you have arrived. Shay, welcome. Please come in from the cold.
How's it
Guntir.
going, buddy?
Very well. How are you?
I'm great. Feel really good.
Little does he know, you made more work for him and his people.
Don't remember like the last 10 hours or so.
Yeah, he was dead.
Yeah, out
Turns
like a
out
log.
Era just kind of,
You
you
died.
see this very
Yeah,
quick
I was
expression
It was
of
just
I
like
was
you.
the equivalent
Like
of like
me.
No, not like
Like,
you.
don't worry
You
about
didn't
it.
sleep at all.
drop your stuff.
It wouldn't be a session without a...
That's true. Oh, that's true. That's the first time
True.
you've dropped anything all session.
Yeah,
Well done,
it's
well
once a session.
Yeah, at least.
All right,
At least we're consistent.
it's true.
Yeah. So,
I guess we're descending today.
Oh wait, we're all together and Crodic's there.
yes.
Yeah.
Whoop. Awkward.
Okay.
What's she?
Make an insight check.
I'm not making eye contact with him.
Okay.
But like I kind of want to keep seeing if he's looking at me, so I'm like,
And your whole body, because of the snow, it's like just
like-
turning the whole body. Turning
Nope.
back.
Nope.
That's a 19.
19. With a 19, what does Guntir see you're feeling?
sweat.
Smitten.
Real hot in here.
From what you can see, Morwen seems to be overheating. Not
Real shy.
unnatural, considering that you're in a hot space. However, you notice that every now and then her whole body kind of turns towards Croddic and then quickly turns away.
And I'm like embarrassingly shy right now, which is so not like me.
That's not your character. Perfect time for a Guntir
Give me
interjection.
that
So-
book.
Yes.
We've decided to take the Iron Hawk. This is
I-
splendid. We have it ready to go whenever everybody is prepared.
Let's
Do
go.
you have food? I'm hungry.
Oh
Yeah, we
yeah,
should
I'm,
probably
I'm
eat
starving.
first.
You got any bacon?
That can be arranged.
Pig people? Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Big Peebo.
Big
How
people?
about that?
The ship! No, I'm just kidding.
They're fine. We've only been gone, what, a week and
Hey, where's my
change.
booty?
Oh, and then I slough the bag off, and I just fiddle around there.
Shing, sparkle, sparkle.
Ta-da!
Beautiful,
Love it.
almost polished leather armor.
It took only 3 of my non-sleeping hours.
You hold on to that,
I hold on to it.
please.
That's odd. Okay.
It just know it's
Krodek,
mine.
Krodek kind of
Thank
turns his
you.
head. If it is a matter of...
Is he talking to me?
Yes,
Oh.
that's why I'm looking at you. If it is a matter of carrying something, I am traveling
Oh.
fairly lightly.
No, this is totally fine, and I see, this bag is...
You should let him carry it.
What?
No.
Why?
He's saying travel lightly, right?
Yeah, so
It's fine, and I
Yeah.
just return it to the bag. No.
hang on to
It's
this
in the
far.
bag.
No,
bag.
I take it from him. No, I pass it back
And
to
I put
Iron.
it back in the bag. I'm looking around, everyone being
This
like,
is
okay.
all very confusing.
Yeah, you're telling me. Don't mind it. Get used to it. Sorry.
Gamble in the meantime is like...
I
packing his
apologize
pipe
in
again.
advance. This is going to become normal for you.
Who are you talking to, Krodek?
Yeah.
I imagine that none of this
Shake and fill you in.
is normal, but...
Yes.
Master Gamble, you were saying, and Gamble now, like with the pipe packed, holding it all the way out because it does stretch all the way to him. Takes a long puff, and this fragrant smoke fills the space.
Pipely?
Huh?
Is it pipely?
It's tobacco.
Fucking dare get him
ask
high before he tries to
ask
throw
for a,
him.
Jar. He has a whole
a
jar of it
poof.
Okay, good.
of it because I'm trying to impress Krodek and like seem kind of tough, but then I take a little too much.
Okay.
Blow smoke ring.
Passes it over, and the smoke, it's different than pipe leaf or stargrass, as you would probably know it. But,
I've smoked his pipe before.
okay, make a constitution saving throw. Because you're trying to take a nice big puff.
Nice.
6.
Appropriate.
Okay. The smoke is almost cloyingly sweet compared to stargrass, and so it kind of chokes you a little bit, and you're forced to cough and expel the smoke. Gamble pats you on the back very heartily, like 2 firm pats, and then takes the pipe back. It isn't for everybody.
It's been a while.
Drink some water.
And then
We
the
tried
second that
some
Krodek
yesterday,
turns around, a tear falls.
He looks at you. He turns, and the eye like peering out from the sort
was
of
like-
hawk head. And he turns back to Gamble. Gamble looking now at all of you. So let me get you something to eat, and
Yeah,
then we can discuss the departure.
That sounds
I
good.
have some ideas.
Run over the controls and anything that might reinforce our
They are very
descent.
different. Guntir did a wonderful job helping me, and I believe
that's
we have made this a
wonderful.
lot easier for everybody. I think you may even have a chance to control where you land, and I have a bit of a gamble, no pun intended. I know you don't like that one. But one moment, and he heads back up, and there's a clang, clang, clang as he goes back up to his workstation. A little, maybe 2 or 3 minutes pass. You smell almost this sort of toasty bread sort of aroma, and he returns carrying, for all of you, a fairly familiar item, although much larger than you're used to. It is a trencher of sorts. This large, almost like a bread bowl full of what looks like kind of like a hearty stew. It has this rich, meaty, smoky aroma. But he takes off of his back this piece of metal about this long, flat, rectangular, and he shakes it once, and it spreads into 2, then 3 panels, and 4 hollow legs go down. It's a sort of portable table. And he
Cute.
sets it down
You play
and sets
Pong.
the bowl on top of it. Please, enjoy yourself.
Wow, Gamble, that was cool.
Thank you, Guntir. And
I gotta
now that
agree,
you
that was
have
pretty
my
cool.
old tinkerer's set, I hope that you find inspiration and create things of your own.
I was talking about the trencher.
Well, maybe you could learn to cook. He's like,
Don't
patting
worry,
up the
I'm
pipe.
working on that one myself.
Wonderful.
Technically speaking.
Very technically, I just heated this back up, but it's quite
But
good.
it looks great.
Thank you.
And the table.
Okay. As you eat it, it is delicious. It's smoky. There are elements of almost like an apple flavor that come through this rich, root-based sort of broth, and it's thick. It's not like a soup. This is a stew. It is reminiscent of a less spicy chili, where the spice has been replaced with a little bit more salt and a little bit more smoke.
I
But
love
delicious.
that.
Yeah.
I think
And
I
it's
would love
vegetarian, too.
Do we all have like our own?
That's wonderful.
No, it's one big thing, but there's like a big ladle kind of thing. There's nothing really been given to you to enjoy it out of.
So we're all just like
I know.
I
we're
pull
just
out
like
my mess
sharing
kit.
the same one.
Dig out your very expensive looking bowl.
No, my
actual
mess kit. My
Okay,
actual
great.
mess kit that I've had
Actual
since
mess
day
kit.
one and
I
literally
think
only
I
used once
have-
You do.
to do something. and I don't remember
I
what it
actually
was.
don't.
You have an adventurer's kit, or you did at the
I
beginning.
have a
so you-
burglar's pack.
Oh, so you don't. No.
Yeah.
I give you the spoon because I know that you like like spoons more than forks.
Thank
and
you.
I go in with the fork.
Okay. You all eat. So, at the very end of this, Gamble, looking around, a little bit eager and kind of anxious to get started. I had a few ideas. I know that you had mentioned going in through the Undercity, and while that is quite dangerous, and it has been some time since I've gone, I may be able to help bypass some of the harder portions of that. Assuming that any of my friends are still alive, and it's been some time since I've been back. But this craft, should we go out and see it? Take a look.
Point of interest, is Era here? Or
Not yet, no. She's going to have to sleep in a little bit, because she was up kind of late.
I mean, might as well take a look at it before we use it. I see no
right.
harm in looking at it.
Follow
first.
me, everyone. And as soon as that happens, Crota kind of turns. What are we doing?
Flying to the.
We're descending in a craft that Gamble designed.
He turns really quick, and Gamble turns around.
I have.
We've fixed it a lot. Guntir has been very helpful, and Crota already again looks at him. This time, like the eye is narrowing a little bit.
You, I think, don't need to worry as much about the descending part as we do. I think.
At the moment, it is hard for me to fly.
Right. True.
Just
right.
walking off.
The same for me too.
Fly and walk off. Anyways, let's go look at it, please.
Oh, follow me. And Gamble leads this group. Crota kind of lagging behind a little sadly now. But you guys emerge into this sort of junkyard space with all kinds of contraptions and gadgets and things that Gamble has put together over the years. And you can see now all the way up on the edge of this cliff, literally on this ramp with nothing but 2 wooden blocks holding the entirety of this massive iron structure. And it's changed. I mean, this thing looks a lot more like a plane now. It has an elongated
Not that
fuselage.
any of us have any idea.
It has no wings, but in place these sort of sails. So, me and Guntir have made a number of changes, and I think it will be fairly simple. Then he opens up the side door and climbing in, you can see there are these fairly simple sort of lever systems to sort of very basically, as he turns one, there's like a flap that goes up and it will help you turn.
Yeah.
He shows you guys on either wing, there are like an individual control station that you can see will stretch or shorten these sails to either catch more or less air. And you would imagine with careful coordination, you could probably turn this craft. There is no navigation area as there was before because of this. As you said, you put windows in so that you could see from the cockpit. The pilot can now navigate. There is, however, because of the tail that you guys added on, a third sail. The sail controlling sort of the rear of the plane. And Gamble makes a point to say, now, this design will allow you to steer the craft a lot more than a controlled fall. You could potentially travel quite a distance in this craft, which I'll get back to in a moment. There is a bit of more of a risk that the entire thing gets torn in half because it is much longer. But, if you can control your descent...
Torn in half how?
Well, you see how it's one piece right now? Probably at about any gestures to the point where you can see very clear marks of where the tail has been added on.
Yeah, I see
Right
where
about
it
here.
might, but how would it, just resistance of the wind?
Wyverns, bro.
No, the resistance of the wind or...
Well, if the person piloting the tail has one idea and the 2 people on the wings have another, it would shear the craft in half. Pretty cleanly, too.
Okay. Sounds like we all need to be very vocal about our coordination.
Okay.
Fortunately.
That's
Okay.
easy.
I'll captain it.
Oh, I was suggesting I might because I could pass
Oh.
the message even if it gets too loud to.
So,
Oh, because
Anyways,
whatever
'Cause you've
role
captained
you
so
wish
much.
to take, this is very much up to you. Now, there are a few dangers in this descent. You really don't want to hit the side of the mountain
yeah,
because it's
you don't,
it is a fairly steep drop.
right?
So, when we push you off, you'll have about 10 seconds of free fall before you really need to start worrying about tumbling down the mountain.
Speed.
You don't want to tumble. That's probably the worst thing that you could do. The tail pilot will be the most important person in this part of the journey. After you clear the peak, another 15 seconds or so will pass. You'll reach terminal velocity at this point. You'll be dropping roughly... He checks his notes. You'll be dropping roughly about 1,200 feet every 6 seconds.
shake us the tail.
So after the tail port, you'll fall another 15
Most
seconds, and at
responsible
that
one
point,
of all of us.
you'll break the cloud cover. Now, something that's important to note, the weather up here, though clear, it changes underneath the clouds. There is
Yeah.
currently a blizzard that is raging, and so as you break the cloud cover, it will buffet this craft, the Iron Hawk, quite badly. It's going to take the two people on both wings adjusting very quickly to catch the craft before it is completely destroyed or otherwise set off course. There is snow and sleet, and I've seen some lightning as well last night, which is odd. And you've fallen about 8,000 feet at this point, it's worth noting. And then finally, after you've gotten the wind and the snow and all of that, you're going to need to negotiate a landing. This is primarily the pilot's job. And I have a couple of suggestions. You really want to wrap around the mountain that you will see in front of you and get to the northeastern, eastern side. That is where you'll find an entrance to the Undercity. I imagine you'll see very quickly the golden dome of Kol Taram above you to make sure that you know the right mountain. And depending on how well you can control your fall, you'll land either within the Bone Meadow, or if you come up very short, you might end up with the Styx. But either way, it's a straight shot to Kol Taram from there. And ideally, if you do everything perfectly, you could end at the very, very northern tip of the Bone Meadow and kind of surpass the caustic fumes there. Not anything that will do damage to any of you, probably, but it does smell very bad. It's sulfur, and you will feel sort of queasy as you pass through. But if you do everything well, you'll land on the northern tip and be past most of that.
That was literally like a medicine ad right there.
Sorry, I took it all in and I know who needs to do what because I think it's.
I know, Guntir and I are on the wings.
No.
Oh.
You
Well,
and,
again, this is up to you.
yeah.
Now,
You and Krodok are on the wings. Guntir is around to mend if anything breaks, and you are on the tail.
regardless,
And I would pilot.
I know the most about it.
you'll want to head through the
You
Gracia
know
Pass.
most about it, so you
I
want to
built the
be.
thing.
Yes, you'd be able to fix it.
I can fix it at the front.
Not while you're piloting.
Sort of is packing a pipe and smoking it as all
Yeah.
this happens.
I mean, he'll be able to resume explaining. Anyways, yes, continue. Sorry. Sorry.
Continue, Gamble. I apologize for my friend.
Thank you, Gunter. It is nothing that you need to apologize for. This is an exciting time for
Exactly.
all of us. Now,
Coming up with a plan as we go.
this in total, you'll probably reach the ground, depending on how long you stay in the air once you've broken the cloud cover for roughly. Put everything on different pages here. It'll take you about a minute to get to the ground. Much faster than Aira's idea. No disrespect to Aira, of course, but she's a cautious one sometimes. Now,
Sometimes not without reason.
Very true,
Sometimes
very
you gotta
true.
throw caution to the wind.
ha, what a pun. Appreciate that.
That's because we're going off a cliff.
Yeah, and there'll be wind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have another proposition for you. Now,
Sorry, Doss just said, I hope it has an aux cord. You gotta play Free Fallin'.
I'll like broadcast it
Sorry,
from my brain.
I had to. It was deserving.
Thanks, Doss.
It was deserving.
I'll cast message and hum the tune the entire way down. to everyone. I am your spotter.
Now,
R.I.P.
if all of you are gamblers, no pun intended, that's my
That was a
name.
good one.
Thank you.
I'll walk away for a minute. Like,
You can see Gamble kind of smiles as he watches Shay leave. She'll be back. But
Fuck it off.
I will say, Guntir, it wouldn't be a great idea to tease Shay. She's known to lash out from time to time.
I understand that.
I have witnessed that.
I
Yes.
have very witnessed.
That is not grammatically correct.
I know.
She must have hit you pretty hard.
Yeah.
He also was apparently dead last night, so.
I slept like a log. I don't even remember. I was.
I'll explain it to you sometime. You're,
It's okay.
yes.
We'll get there later.
Anyways, if you are a bit of a gambler, you could stay aloft much longer after the initial fall, not break the cloud cover, and drift a certain amount there. The trouble being, you can't see through the clouds very well.
Couldn't see any mountains in the way.
Correct.
Yeah.
But you could basically slam the hawk straight into Mount Taram.
I don't think that's a good
not
idea.
literally. I mean, you could. What my point is, you could reach. You could just pull up right to the base of the area I'm about to tell you about. You could potentially make it to Kol Taram in well under an hour, but a little bit dangerous.
Wow, danger's my middle name.
Yes, you've said again a fascinating middle name. But regardless of what you decide to do, you will eventually want to enter through the Undercity. Shay, there are things that you need to know about this place. It is not a place that you will be very welcome. And he turns to Krotik. Krotik, I think you also may find some difficulty. The Undercity is a place for those who don't fit into Kol Taram.
I'm going to slowly start
Non-dwarves.
pulling out the Obsidian's Haste leather and be like, to Kardec and. No?
Well, the Undercity is a place of refuge for people who do not fit into Kol Taram, perhaps. Originally, it was designed as something of a channel to allow water to pass through from the River of Colors should there
Like
be
you
a
said,
flood.
yeah.
But as everything is frozen now, it is very unlikely. And so a veritable city has sprung up within this space. I'll say off the top of my head, beware of Clan Coldrot. They control a lot of the crime in a very crime-ridden place. They base themselves out of a place that is called the Dark Hive, which, if you do find yourself in need of certain items, the receptionist, so to speak, there, he's very capable of finding things into your hands. But I would be very cautious about the terms of agreement that you make with this individual. His name is Yambo. He's a bugbear, and he's quite intelligent, but also quite crafty. So beware of him. I would imagine that he does work for the Cold Rots. He's been there a long time.
Rambo?
Yambo.
Yambo. And then the place?
It is the Dark Hive. As for all of you, I do know that you are adventurers and you do require items of certain kinds. There is no proper forge within the Undercity. Those are all in Kol Taram, typically in the Circle of Eye, in the Fourth Circle. But there may be refugees from Kol Taram proper, and if so, I would imagine you might find a smith of sorts. Are there any other questions that you have about this place? Or I'm just sort of speaking things.
You know
as I think of
where the dragon is?
Interesting point. So, I would imagine.
You don't remember that.
Oh.
Fair enough.
I'll butt in as you're like, remember where the... And they're like, the source of the problems within Kol Taram, if you catch my drift.
Yes. Well, I had
Thieves
two
can't.
To keep it
thoughts.
canonical.
I understand the thieves can't as dragon.
Sure.
I accidentally say dragon and using thieves can't
No.
terms.
So basically, you get what
Yeah.
Henrik is saying.
Yeah. I'm not-
But he
I'm not trying to hide
nods a little bit. Well, I had two thoughts. Traditionally, these kind of problems will seek out gold or valuable things in great quantities. And Kol Taram, the entirety of the dome, the top circle, the circle of gold, it is made of gold. So it's
Assume the highest point.
Yes. However, some of my
Steal a
research
People
into
just looked at each other at the same-
this
that was
problem leads me to believe that this may be a deep dragon, and they find solace underground. So you will either find him within the mines or at the very top. I would caution you, should you go into the Undercity, you will emerge, depending on how you travel. There are many ways in and out. But probably within the fifth circle, the circle of iron, the circle of stone, sorry. And she may be close by. The deepest part of the mines are the mithril mines. They were very well guarded, so perhaps there is help there. But those would be my thoughts.
Oh, don't you worry, because I've dealt with dragons before. It's not going to be a thing.
Dragons?
I just said a deep dragon.
Huh.
Is that what? Because that...
I don't know. There's a problem in Kol Taram that we're going to fix. It's
His
causing
face
all
doesn't
of these...
change, but you see like a brief bit of panic, kind of like as he realizes what he said.
Yeah.
But
There's, I mean, it might be one. It might be just a big old
Well, if
Anyways,
it is one,
mage. It might be another.
I'm not too worried. I think we've dealt with worse.
the way that I think I can maybe get you into this place to deal with this problem of unknown origin is, so, Shay, I've told you a little bit about my travels and some of my time here. Well, a long time ago, I was not welcomed into Kol Taram. I was a good crafter, not as good as I am now, of course, but I was good. And the dwarves never really saw me as equal to them based on the fact that I wasn't a dwarf. And so I did not always have access to the supplies that I needed. But there is a group within, I know, quite sad. It is not a nice thing. But there's a group, they call themselves the Shadow Scavs, and they can obtain things.
Scab?
That
Scab.
sounds like my kind of
Short
people.
for scavenger. Anyhow,
Tell me
I may have
more.
been loosely related to them.
That's the kind of shit I was asking.
What you need to go on the eastern face of the mountain, there's a rock that looks a little bit like a horse. And if viewed from beneath, it's hard to find, but once you find it, it's unmistakable. If you follow the way the horse is facing into the mountain, you'll see an area that looks as if it's covered by ice, like a frozen waterfall. You may walk straight through that. You will come to an old iron door. After a bit, it will be maybe a 20-minute walk. Always go right, and you will come to this door. And when you get there, just knock 3 times, and when asked, tell them that Gamble says hello, and present them this. And you see this. He pulls out this large, like a belt buckle, almost like it's a rectangle. Although you can see now there is this sort of arced dome zini pattern, very, very softly stamped into it. Hard to see. But when you see it, when you turn it, you can see the rivets and the ridges of each single arch. And there are a pair of crossed pickaxes upside down, intricately carved into it. And there's this sort of dimpled pattern that means that you see the entire thing is like this illusion of depth. It's not tightly wound into them in any way, but they would be able to get you around the city relatively unseen. They know the rat tunnels like the back of their hands. And some of them
I
have
like
more
them
than 2.
already.
And this is the important type of thing that I was hoping you would be able to provide. This is good. This is good.
Well, what kind of things do you want to know? I mean, I lived in Kol Taram for many years.
Just based on what you've heard, those safest paths. But if there are people who are there who have remained there that you were associated with, I feel they would also be as good, if not better, currently.
Yes, it's been almost 30 years since I've been back, and
Right.
I imagine especially the Undercity has changed.
Right.
It is a living, breathing thing, the Undercity. Beautiful in certain ways, but dangerous. And
Danger's my middle name.
well, and speaking of
Jesus.
which, and he takes this buckle and he presents it to you, Guntir. You are the only dwarf amongst this group, and so naturally it makes the most sense that you be the leader.
Ah.
I was
Thanks
upset
a
as I
lot.
wrote this. So I would ask that in this place, it will be difficult for you until you get into Colteram itself. But you are the most likely to actually be from there. Humans not welcome in the Undercity. Aarakocra too, not as much. There are other denizens there that you may be not familiar with.
Alright.
The ones that you need to be the most mindful of are the original. They're called the Lumare. They are the native inhabitants to this realm, to the Underdark. They were largely misplaced or displaced, I should say, when the Undercity was built. They do deserve respect. We have misplaced them, and they were underground a long time before mankind emerged onto Alberon. You will know them because they will almost always wear some kind of eye or face protection. They're adjusted for the dark. Gray skin, and if they do show their eyes, they're all black. But they have interesting abilities. They are very flexible. They can climb on walls. They can look disconcerting if you see them move. But they are, by and large, a peaceful people, unless provoked. Anything else that you would like to know about this place? I would like to set this craft on the air, as it were.
Let's get going. We do need to speak with Era before we leave.
Just kidding.
And a perfect timing. And as he says that, you especially can see behind, from the snow, Era appear.
Do I feel bad things because she used calm emotions on me?
I mean, you know that she cast it on you. It's up to you what you feel. I'm not you.
Yeah.
Man. Bruh.
Well, I got a good night's sleep.
Good morning, all of you. Master Gamble. And Gamble smiles back and bows fairly deeply. Are we ready to set off on this journey?
It appears so.
Very well.
I feel we should establish an order of who takes what role.
Shay and the rest
Bring
of you.
out my captain's hat.
She ignores that. Shay and the rest of you.
And then another captain's hat appears.
She's like very much now looking only at you and Shay.
Yeah.
I did have some words of advice. Shay,
By all means.
I do apologize, but I will not be able to see you off. There are pressing things that the listener would have me do. But I do have some advice for all of you. Heinrich, you are ever watchful, even in the hours that bring most rest. Trust the instinct that long watch provides. Uriel's watch may hold answers for you, but I have a sense that the watch that you need may be your own. Guntir, I would have you know that Shay compared you to my father. I find myself ultimately disappointed, which may not be wholly a bad thing. Guntir Truesteel, though I sense within you a vortex of chaos, there is something to this storm that must have granted you such power. Shay, a moth is drawn to a flame. One might mock the creature, for it cannot help but draw that. Sorry. Draw close to that which might harm it. One must then consider, why would the moth be drawn to the flame? The answer, of course, is to protect it from a greater evil, a cold that would surely sap life from the poor creature's body. Shay, in times of great peril, it is important to find that which might keep you alive. Anything that can save you can also kill you. Such is the nature of the power to give. It is also the power to take. A weakness, some say. With Highland gone, I myself question this. But even now, as she plots and steals from my brothers and sisters, pulling people away into the night, I remind myself the only reason that I still stand, the only reason that I can last with the weight of the sky on my shoulders, is because of those who I have given this power to. They continue to feed it and allow it to grow. There is a balance in weakness and strength. One may not grow without the other. I am proud of you, Shay. You have stepped as far from the north as any monk. I would imagine that your path will carry you further still. Do me the honor of making me prouder, and please, no matter where your path brings you, return home.
I will do my best.
If I could just have a moment with Morwen. And Gamble, at this point, kind of nods. Guntir and Heinrich and Shay, of course. Please, let's go out to the
I'm
Iron
like,
Hawk.
good.
I shrug in my winters, but you can't see me.
Yeah.
Shrug.
He begins to walk. Three of you follow.
I am like, all right.
You guys wind your way through this workshop and out into the colder area where the Iron Hawk is. You walk all the way over to the edge again. Era turns to you, Morwen. Morwen.
Yes.
You have no path because your thread is not of this weave. I have met tabaxi before, and there is some of that in you. But it is similar and yet so different. You've slipped across oceans of time and currents of space, and adrift you are cast, not quite whole. Your soul is as strong as any monks that I've ever seen. Crick would have made a fine scout of you. Yet still, it is as if it is half of something. I will meditate on this and consider what it might mean, but in the meantime, Morwen, please consider, for one without a path, the places where they all must end may be dangerous to you more than that the rest. I trust in you to keep Shay safe, but I would say to you also, consider your steps carefully, for they are ever into darkness. Go. And she kind of draws herself back up and motions to catch up with the rest of them. And even as she does, she turns and begins to walk away.
Thanks for the pep talk.
So anyways, I think that this will work out in your favor ultimately, but we'll wait for... Oh, Morwen. So,
Great pep talk.
what sort of roles are you all going to take in this journey down?
I've got my captain's hat.
Okay.
So the left wing,
Left,
Krodok,
right, and I
Krodok,
point to Krodok.
Krodok would be the right.
You two seem to get
If you
along
all
pretty
think
well,
that it is best,
right?
of course. I would-
Guntir, I would strongly advise with your ability to repair as
I'll
we
stand
go.
in the front and I'll guide. I'm pretty good at guiding.
Well, that's the wings and the pilot who is going to take the tail.
You got a tail.
We all look at
You do?
Shay. Just kidding.
Yeah, but
My
Heinrich's
strength-
got a tail, so he probably knows how.
I've
it
got a
works.
tail.
My strength
Yeah,
wouldn't
but you're
necessarily
on the wing.
wouldn't necessarily lead to holding something in place very well as we descend, especially against buffeting winds.
She also has better eyes than you, though.
Well, I will say the tail position does require a certain amount of dexterity to operate correctly.
Okay, Shay.
Fantastic. Is there anything else you need before we get started? I really am very excited.
Well, I felt a little confused. I feel like Guntir didn't recognize his role as much as...
Yeah, just look out the window.
Yeah, but we're only following one person's command, which I think...
Well, and remember also, Guntir did help me create this craft. He knows it as well as anybody, except for me, of course.
Well, what if, he were to need to be relieved of the post to go fix something falling
Well,
off,
you're
for
not
example?
doing anything. You can just, also look out there.
Right.
So having 2 people as a pilot and a
Let's
backup
do
pilot is a
that.
great
Then.
idea.
Let's do that then, and I will maintain
I'll be
if
the
you.
pilot, and you can be the co-pilot.
Oh, I thought you were gonna
Sure.
say the P, boo.
That's fine.
Yeah, the co-people.
I'll
I
also
haven't heard
call
that
out.
term in a long time.
I will also call out that, the commands if we need to quickly adjust something. I can do that with, and then I stop speaking and I use message to be like this
Yeah, I can hear you,
to anyone who.
and I can do it with this.
If it gets
and
too
I-
loud.
Okay, fine, but I want it back, and I put my captain's hat on him, and then I start sweating because I see Krodik's feathers on it, and like,
All right, to
It's okay.
positions,
Make a
everyone.
sleight of hand check.
It's also fine because it wasn't even on my head. It was just resting on my antlers. There's
no, not the hat, the feather. Picking the feather off.
I know, but even the hat is just
14.
sitting on top of the antlers.
As you dart your hand out to grab the feather, you can see Krodik's eye watch you the whole way across. And his head turns very peculiarly as he sees you take this
I don't make eye
kind
contact.
of old feather that he had very already kind of cautiously given you the first time that you guys met. Seems to take note of it.
And then I just, and I don't make eye contact. And I just get to my position, and I'm just looking straight.
And he steps very close to you and sits down literally no more than 3 feet away on the other side.
Just looking straight.
And you feel his eye, because he's looking forward, but you can feel the eye kind of regarding you.
Don't care.
Just like Guntir.
So, you guys now all are on, or within the Iron Hawk, on the edge of this cliff. Gamble kind of off to the side, Krodik sitting down on one wing, Morwen on the other, Shay sort of crammed into the tail of this craft.
She's
Heinrich
small.
and Gunter in the front/middle.
You. Oh, that's true.
You see Gamble's, the pipe tobacco, or the smoke coming out of his pipe kind of travel around to the front. And then you hear from in the front. So, is everybody ready?
Yep.
No, but yes.
All right.
have to
Adventure! No, don't start calling me. I'm just kidding.
Please.
You hear, at the same time, these 2 wooden blocks suddenly dislodge, and there is this jolt as the craft falls forward, and there's a moment where it kind of hangs on the edge, and then you hear metal creak as it slowly shifts forward and begins to descend, begins to rush downwards, and because it's 12:15 at night, that's where we're going to end for the evening. So, we'll pick up next week with the flight of the Iron Hawk. Oh, God, no. Flight being in quotes.
Yes, heavily,
But
heavily so.
we'll see how it works out. Meanwhile, though, great session. We had
Yeah, that was a lot of
combat.
fucking shit.
Yeah.
We had
That was a
some
lot of shit.
Stuff come back from over a year ago in real world time.
Yeah,
We got
goddamn.
to see some old faces. Yeah, great stuff.
Oh, we really wish we never saw it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and some hopefully we never will.
yeah.
Hopefully.
Hopefully it's
Anyways.
dead twice, permadead.
To all of you who tune in this week and every week, thank you very much. Thank you for as Matt likes to say, Matt, not Gunter. Don't forget to follow, and subscribe.
Yeah,
We have a YouTube, we have an Instagram, we have a Twitter, we have a store.
I got shit
Check all
to
those
wear.
things out. Yeah, check out the awesome limited edition artists items. We have sweatshirts, we have t-shirts, we have mugs, we have stickers. Get them while you can, because those go out of the store on April 1st. Not an April Fool's joke. They will be replaced by something else in April 15th, I want to say, but I'll double check that. In the meantime, please take care of yourselves, be good to everybody else, and have a great night. We'll see you next week.